Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this NXT AEW live stream. We are here for a massive show. This is absolutely huge. This feels like a takeover. This really does feel like an NXT takeover. Not only that, but AEW looks like it's got quite a big show as well. Like both shows are coming with some big matches. The Wednesday Night War is here, and this week in particular is huge because we've got the NXT Championship being defended. We've got the NXT Women's Championship being defended. We've got Finn Balor, who's going to go after his mystery attacker. We've got Karrion Kross, a.k.a. Killer Kross. Scarlett Bordeaux, they're going to be in action. They're going to make their presence felt. And that's just NXT. Over on AEW, we've got Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega teaming together to take on Jericho and Sami Guevara. We've got the AEW champion, Jon Moxley, in action, taking on Frankie Kazarian. We got Cody Rhodes in action, taking on, I believe, Joey Janela. We've got Lance Archer in action as well. And plenty of talk and rumors about there could be big things coming because, of course, this is the first show live for AEW. So they really could do anything. We don't know what's in store. The recent weeks have all been pre-recorded. They've all been taped. So what are we going to get tonight? What are we going to get with AEW? Don't sleep on AEW. Just because on paper NXT looks a little stronger, because of course they've got actual championship matches, AEW are going to be fully aware that they need to do something. They've got an option. They either do something that we're not expecting, or they concede defeat. Because certainly on paper, I think NXT does look the stronger show. NXT Championship match, Women's Championship match, Karrion Kross. I mean, how many weeks have been waiting for him? Finn Balor. You know, this is, I want to say, maybe the first week where Finn Balor and Charlotte are both going to be on NXT the same week. I can't remember that happening before. I can't remember Finn Balor and Charlotte both being on the same show. I mean, maybe back in the day. Although, I think Charlotte had gone when Finn first arrived. I think so. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. But anyway, honestly, in 2020, since this war started, I can't recall it. So on paper, I would say NXT looks pretty amazing tonight. Like, honestly, a takeover. Like, this is basically a takeover. No surprise we've got Money in the Bank this weekend, and they're kind of using this as a bit of a takeover. So, yeah, really excited for both shows tonight. It's and I think the internet was excited as well. I've seen a lot of people just sending me messages all day talking about this show, both of these shows actually. So yeah, can't wait. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. I can see Stu the Woodcarving Druid says AEW. Jonathan chanting for AEW as well. WWE Inside Access Wrestling chanting for NXT. Obviously, we like to watch both. We're fans of both, so doesn't make any difference to us. I hope both shows are excellent. So yeah, makes no difference to me. I just say, and I call it as I see it, I do think NXT looks a little bit stronger on paper. And I would say the opposite. I'd say AEW looks stronger if they had a women's championship match, the AEW title on the line, Killer Kross, who they'd been building up. If he was debuting, then I can see that there's a little bit of lag. Unfortunately, I think there's a little bit of lag with YouTube today. I think YouTube has got a few problems. So I think every now and again, there might just be a little wobble. There's nothing I can do about that. I saw the insiders were saying the same. I just watched Abby's Window over on Insiders Wrestling Podcast, our little community podcast. They were saying that they were suffering with a bit of lag as well. So it's going to happen. The stream shouldn't go down. Like, data-wise, we're all good. Everything's fine. All the settings are fine. Everything's fine. So, yeah, I think there's just a little bit of YouTube lag. But as I said, unfortunately, I think that's across YouTube at the moment rather than it being, like, specific to us. So it is what it is. Right. AEW is on TNT. It is. Shout out to you. Just talking about the insiders as well. Great Abby's window. Really enjoyed it. So shout out to those guys. Thought that was excellent. There was a Gary Horn interview yesterday as well. So loads of stuff that's being brought to you via the insiders. So as always, check them out. Hit the subscribe. They are there for you guys. Brandon says YouTube RIP. Yeah, hopefully it's not too bad. As I said, I just watched the insiders and it seemed all right. A couple of moments, but it seemed all right. So I think that might be the same here. There might be a few moments every now and again where it lags a little bit, but just know, it's a YouTube thing, and by and large, we'll be all right. William Hensey, shout out to you. Days, you're my favourite YouTuber. Thank you very much, buddy. Monica King says, check out the insiders. Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. I have not seen that advertised, to be honest. I have not seen that. In fact, that doesn't make sense. Why would Candice LeRae, a heel, take on Dakota Kai, who's a heel? Why would they do a heel versus heel match? Where have you seen that? I honestly have not seen that advertised. What I've got advertised for tonight is Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole, Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai, Karrion Kross and Scarlett making their debuts, Finn Balor seeks his attacker, and we've got Dijakovic versus Johnny Gargano. Over on AEW, we've got Cody Rhodes versus Joey Janela, Jon Moxley versus Frankie Kazarian. Title is not on the line for that one. Matt Hardy, Kenny Omega, taking on Chris Jericho, Sami Guevara. We've got Lance Archer versus QT Marshall. So there we go. NXT, AEW, both live this week as well. And as we said, we've got tons of stuff to go through. Tons of stuff. Cross, a lot of excitement from Butterspark. Io versus Shah is heel versus heel. Very true. I actually didn't predict that Io was going to win that ladder match for that very reason. I have no idea why they would present Io versus Shah, heel versus heel. So, yeah, I don't know. I do find that match very strange as well. Jason Peace, shout out to you, my friend. Days, have you heard your Pengalicious? I have not heard that. Cherry Pepsi is Peng. So, shout out to you. Days, say toy boat 10 times fast. There you go, I just said it. Days, I missed the Money in the Bank prediction stream, but I watched it this morning. Oh, yeah, shout out to... That was completely unplanned. I literally, last night, after we'd finished the NWA stream, I had a little bit of time on my hands, and I could have started to have edited this week's Wrestling Escape Pod. Of course, there's a brand new episode this Friday after SmackDown. So I didn't know whether to start doing that, but I thought, I've got to do my Money in the Bank predictions at some point. So it made sense. I was sat here, like, do I go and just record it and put it up as a video, or should I just do it as a stream? So literally, it was one of those where I just did it off the top of my head. No plans. I never even mentioned that we were going to do it because I never thought about doing it. But I knew that I had to get it done as soon as. And I'm certainly not waiting for Friday night to find out what happens on SmackDown. Going to get it up now because by and large, we know a good chunk of the matches. And honestly, that thing went on for like an hour and a half. Which, again, completely unplanned, but there was so much excitement for Money in the Bank this year, so many questions that I was quite happy just sitting here and just answering bits and bobs. But I've actually cut the rest of it off because I kind of thought if someone was to watch a Money in the Bank video that was an hour and a half, it might put them off. They might think, God, what's this guy talking about for an hour and a half? So I actually trimmed it. So unfortunately... there's a whole hour that's gone now. You only will have experienced it if you was there at the time. So yes, if you do watch that video, it is literally me just going through every single match individually, and yeah, a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Total Divas tomorrow. Yes, don't ask. Right, we need to talk about the Revival. Now, I know this might be a little bit strange talking about the Revival, but they were on Talk is Jericho, the Jericho podcast, and they said some really interesting stuff. The Revival have revealed the truth about those leaked images. So you might remember those costumes, those ring attires came out and they looked like Flavor Flav. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the video that I did on them. Kind of looked a little bit like Brutus the Barber Beefcake from WrestleMania 9. Like it was yellow and it was red and it had a big clock. And they were just so outlandish. Like, honestly, that's what the word outlandish was invented for, was these leaked ring attires. But the Revival have actually shed some light on them. And they says, yes, they are real. That is what was proposed to us. But the backstory was going to be that we were going to make out that the tag division was a joke. We were going to say the WWE tag division is a joke. So if you're not going to take it seriously, we're not going to take it seriously. And so that's why we would end up wearing that ring attire, because we would be making fun of ourselves and making fun of the tag division. I think it's such a shame that WWE wanted to take the story that way. If you actually listen to the interview with them, it's quite interesting, because they talk about only wanting to re-sign if the whole division was treated better. They didn't want the tag titles. They didn't care. They didn't want to be pushed or anything like that. They didn't care about that. They wanted tag team wrestling to be treated with more importance by WWE. WWE were not prepared to do that, and so the Revival left. So it wouldn't have mattered. WWE offered to give them the tag titles, offered to put them in a feud against someone, give them a nice little run, give them a push, and the Revival still turned it down because they want tag team wrestling to be treated better. So you got to take your hat off and say respect. That's awesome that they turned all of it down because they wanted tag team wrestling to be treated better. I thought it was really interesting because they were saying that in WWE right now, you will do better in a tag team if you are two single stars that are put together, like Cedric and Ricochet. They will do a lot better than what a proper tag team will do, because WWE do not see the value in proper tag teams. And that was a big reason as to why they left, because they could see that things just weren't going to change. So if you get chance to listen to it on the Talk is Jericho podcast, I urge you do. It is really, really interesting. They go through a lot of detail. Coaster Maniacs says, "Hi Days, how are you, good sir?" I am good, thank you. Hope you are well, my friend. I've just noticed that my laptop's a little bit dull, and I've just noticed it's because there's no power, so I better plug it in, otherwise we could hit some trouble. There we go, that's better. Boom. Yes, shout out to you, Coaster Maniacs. Hope you are well. How is everyone tonight, says Sean Flagstaff. I am well. Hope you are well. I'm very excited for the wrestling tonight. It's not often that I can sit here and say I'm genuinely excited for the shows that we're about to get. Normally you go into Raw, you go into SmackDown with a little bit of trepidation, but I'm actually going into NXT and AEW with quite a lot of enthusiasm, quite a lot of excitement, because really does feel like a very special week this week. Very special week. How are other factions doing with... Oh, yes, the faction war is underway as well, so feel free to let us know how your factions are getting on in the chat. The other thing you might have seen as well is the new trailer for the Undertaker program called The Last Ride. Now, this is quite interesting because he reveals a lot of details that he's not revealed before. One of the things he reveals is just how serious he came and how close he came to potentially dying, like potentially being severely hurt in that match against Goldberg. I mean, we all saw the botches in that match. It happened against Goldberg in Saudi Arabia not that long ago. Was it last year? Goldberg versus Undertaker. And there was a botched suplex, a botched jackhammer. Tombstone looked a little bit wobbly. I think the problem was that Goldberg had knocked himself silly before as the match was beginning. So I kind of feel like a lot of this was to do with Goldberg not being 100% during the match. Obviously, Undertaker's a little bit older as well. I mean, it was just a car crash. Honestly, it was a car crash, but nearly so much worse because there were some moments that were quite scary in that match. And you actually see in the trailer Undertaker talking about how, he nearly died in that match. Legit. So really can't wait for that show. It's actually going to be on after Money in the Bank on the network. It's not the kind of thing I would do a watch along for, to be honest. I don't even know how I'm going to do Total Divas tomorrow because, where people are talking and you've got to listen to what they're saying, and mate, it's a lot harder to do those as watch-alongs, and so that's why I don't tend to do documentaries as a watch-along. So tomorrow's got great potential to be a car crash as well, as we try to do Total Divas episodes 1 and 2. Don't ask. Not my choice. Jody Gilly says, I'm here. Logan said hi. Hello to Logan. Hello to Jody. I was just listening to Abby's window as I was setting up the stream. Excellent as always. Very insightful. And I can't wait. There's so many different ways that Bray and Braun match can go on Sunday. There's so many different variables, I mean, Bray could win. I don't think he will, but he could win. We might see The Fiend. Don't think we will, but we could see The Fiend. We could go back to the old Bray, cult leader Bray. Again, not too sure. Bray's told us before that cult leader Bray, that part of me is dead now. So, I don't know. I can't quite call it. I can't quite tell what's going to happen. I think the only things that I'm expecting is that Braun retains, and hopefully there's a little tease that Braun is starting to question whether he should join the Wyatt family or not, or rejoin Bray, become a member of the Funhouse or something along those lines. I'm not expecting Cena or anything like that. But yeah, as I said, so many variables. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think Sunday is very exciting as well. There's a lot of excitement this week, let me tell you. DJ B Tazzy says, Days, how are you doing? I am good, thank you. I am good. I am emotionally strong. I hope you are as well. Febin says, Days, I absolutely hate Goldberg now. Do you think the rumour of him using creative control to not lose to The Fiend is true? Would Vince allow it? How do you think Bray might have felt at the time? It's rumour and it's speculation, so I can only give you my thoughts on it. My thoughts are Goldberg was huge in the 90s. And I think Goldberg still believes that he is that big now, if you will. So I think in Goldberg's mind, he is right up there with The Fiend. And actually, for a lot of wrestling fans, he probably is. A lot of those casual fans, he's probably still bigger. For us fans that watch every week, that love Bray, love the Funhouse, love The Fiend, love that story, then, for us, Bray is obviously bigger right now than Goldberg. But there's probably a lot of casual fans, maybe even some of the Saudi fans, that would have Goldberg right up there. So, yes, is the short answer. I can totally believe that in Goldberg's mind, this was some epic battle between Goldberg and The Fiend. Who's going to... Where for us, we were watching it going, squash. That's a squash. They're just going to feed Goldberg to The Fiend. Fiend will go on to WrestleMania. I had no doubt. I had no doubt whatsoever. I remember as Goldberg was coming down, I was like, guys, don't worry. Don't worry about it. There's nothing to sweat. And this is they're just going to feed a legend to Fiend. Give him a nice, easy win. We're building to WrestleMania, blah, 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 blah. I had no doubt in my mind Bray Wyatt, Fiend was winning that, right? So yeah, I do definitely believe that there was some backstage politics. I do think that Goldberg had a word with Vince. So I do believe in those rumors because there was nothing going into that show that suggested Vince was going to give Goldberg the title. There was nothing to suggest that we were going to go in a different direction. So yeah, I do think that happened. I do think it was the wrong decision. And I honestly don't understand why why Vince changed his mind and why Vince went that way. I don't get it. Honestly don't get it. Coaster Maniacs, shout out to you, dude. Coaster Maniacs says, gonna break character. Oh, hello. You got Frugal kicking off.
Gonna break character here, sorry days. This message ISNT for you, it's for Jody. Joey DI. Think everyone will agree that you're awesome. Don't let people knock you down. We all love you. And are honored to consider you a sister. You a hero heart.
How about that? How about that? Coaster Maniac saying, gonna break character here. Sorry, Days. This message isn't for you. It's for Jody. Jody, I think everyone will agree that you're awesome. Don't let people knock you down. We all love you. And we are honored to consider you a sister. You are a hero. And as it said, heart emoji. Lovely words. Lovely words by Coaster Maniacs. So, yeah, shout out, man. Absolute shout out. Give Johnny a shout out. Shout out to Johnny. Did you know? Let me put a little thank you at the bottom. Oh, this is all lowercase now. Thank you, Coaster Maniacs. Boom. Is that, can people hear that? Is that echoey? I can't quite tell if that's echoey. I need to have a look at that. Right, let me go back. It's very weird for me to be quiet whilst that shouts that out. Shout out to Josh Savage. Hope you are well. Swamp Manor says there was a little bit of lag there. I didn't have that. Food Stars, haven't been in here for a while. Here to lose some cash. Shout out to you, Food Stars. Hope you are well, my friend. Hope you are well. LSW, can you tell me, is that echoey? It's something new that I added to the stream. And, yeah, I've got no idea if it sounds okay or if it's, echoey or whatever it might be. Eric Derigi says, Days, hi, what is more powerful than being the champion? Controlling one. The Super Funhouse theory exists. Bray will control Rollins, Strowman, Balor, and then all of WWE. That's quite interesting. Io is going to win tonight. I'd be interested if Io was going to win, yes. The hacker is Ali. It's a stupid storyline. Ooh, I don't know if it's a stupid storyline. I think people are really into it. The hacker obviously was on WWE Backstage, which I think was very interesting. It was the same message as what we had before, so nothing different. It was the same message that was on Twitter, but it was nicely done with the way that the screens kind of broke down. I thought that was very clever. Anthony says it was doubled. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I've got no idea why it's doubling up. Yeah, I don't know why it would be doing that. That's very interesting. I'll have to play around with it, something that I was looking at earlier that I'm still trying to get my head around. But yeah, I like it. Did you hear about Heavy Machinery breaking up? I did not know. I did not hear that. Days, who is your favourite football player? I can't say I've really got one at the moment, to be honest. Let's go back into the chat. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday, LeBron fan 23. Do you think Dream will win the title tonight? Do I think that Dream will win the title tonight? No, I don't. Shout out to Lord French Fries. I think this is bad timing for the Dream. True HN99 says custody of Dominic. Ladder match was great. Yeah, you're going back quite a bit of time there. That's obviously quite a while ago. I'd imagine there's quite a few people that probably haven't seen that storyline. But yeah, I agree. A lot of fun. And hopefully we're in for a lot of fun tonight as well. We've got just over half an hour to go. Just over half an hour to go. There we go. I've tried to turn that sound up a bit. A little bit of lag. Yeah, there might be. Right, let's go back up. What do you think about the SmackDown Hacker? I really like the SmackDown Hacker. I think that it's a very good storyline. I think it's very interesting. I think they've done a decent job with it. I think there's a lot of excitement and a lot of intrigue. So, yeah, really, really interested. Trying to fix the lag. That's my concern. Again, I know that it is on YouTube. So, I'm not sure how much I can affect it, but I can certainly try. That's all right. Monica is here. Frugal is causing the lag. Maybe Frugal is. Does seem to get a little bit wobbly whenever that happens. So that is definitely something that I'm going to have a look at. Alright, let's try go back into it. People saying lag. It's a YouTube problem. I have heard about it being a YouTube problem, yeah. I honestly, I can't imagine that Frugal is helping things. Let's put it that way. Maybe Frugal's getting in the way a little bit, so maybe I'll remove it for this week. But it's something that we can definitely look at in the future, but I'm going to take it away to see if it does help in any way. There we go. Okay, so I've got rid of that. Hopefully that will do something positive. We've still got half an hour, and I do want to get stuck in. I've still got more things to talk to you about in the world of wrestling, but I really don't want things to get in the way. Right. Let's get back to the chat. Have you ever played SmackDown vs. Raw 2008? Yes, loved it. Days, how you doing? Haven't seen you or Bill since the Leicester Square event. Yeah, that was awesome. I hope they do another one this year. I'd be totally there if they do. Always have a lot of fun with that. Coaster Maniac says, testing Frugal. You are definitely giving Frugal a run out, my friend, yes. Days, how are you? I'm good, thank you. UD Migs1, shout out to you, my friend. Days, WrestleVotes have reported that Heavy Machinery is no more. Okay. I haven't seen that. That's quite interesting news. Let me just jump onto WrestleVotes and see exactly what they're saying. I do like WrestleVotes. I think that they're one of the more reliable sources. They've come out with several things this year that have been proven to be true. I've got nothing on there from them. I got nothing on from WrestleVotes on Twitter at least. So I don't know if they're saying anything on any other social media sites, but I would imagine that they would share it on Twitter. So nothing from WrestleVotes. Dexter Lumis plus Finn Balor plus Karrion Kross plus Scarlett Bordeaux is a need to happen thing. Alls we need is a name. Sonny Wolf has got a new donut review. Awesome. Dylan says, Days, I can't wait to watch this great week of wrestling with you and the community. Yes, well, hopefully the lag can stay away, because I saw that it was getting a little bit worse. I don't know if we're blaming Frugal for that or if it is the YouTube problem, but hopefully, as we said, hopefully settles down. So we'll have to wait and see. Days, that is a rumour. Okay, cool. If there's no more heavy machinery, do you think Tucker will be buried? I'm not believing that right now. I've not seen it from a reliable source. So if it was on the WrestleVotes Twitter account, then I would believe it. Because they've been very accurate. They told us who was going into the Hall of Fame before it was announced. They told us that Braun was going to replace Roman before it was announced. Quite a few things. They told us that Samoa Joe had been suspended. And it was really interesting, because WrestleVotes told us earlier this year Samoa Joe had been suspended, and then he was on Raw. So WrestleVotes came out and went, guys, don't know what's happened. Legit, we've got contacts with WWE. They told us this news. We reported it. Seems like that contact isn't as reliable as what we, thought. And then news came out that he'd been suspended. So they found out before he'd even got suspended, before anything had been announced or anything like this. And so they came back and went, looks like our source is accurate after all, So I really believe that they do have contacts. I really believe they've got relationships. So as I said, that's just this year. 3 things off the top of my head that they've been right on, which is why I'm right now, I think they're a reliable source. Things can change, but it's a good place to get news from. Next Thursday, we should watch the Royal Rumble 2012. Days, what are your thoughts on a possible McIntyre versus Styles match? Imagine McIntyre reversing the phenomenal forearm into a Claymore. Yes, I think that's a decent match, and I think it makes a lot of sense because you've got AJ Styles as the heel, you've got Drew McIntyre as the face. Drew really needs to have feuds against big names. I think this feud against Seth Rollins makes a lot of sense. And then, of course, he can go on to have a feud against AJ Styles, and that's another great opponent. I think he will get past Seth. I think this will be a little feud, but I think AJ could very much be in his future. I do think there's a slight problem, though, and that slight problem is the ratings, because we spoke about this yesterday. Raw's first hour was the lowest rated hour in the history of Raw, and then it got beat by the second and the third hours. Like, the whole show was just the lowest ever, not this year, ever, since 1993. The lowest rated Raw ever happened on Monday. Happened 2 days ago. Like, I know there's a pandemic. I know there's a big problem in the world right now. I know people don't like it without a crowd. I know we're not in an arena. We're in the performance center. I know there's loads of big names missing. I mean, I totally get it. But it's scary ratings. I mean, 1.6 million people watching Raw is incredible. It's phenomenal. Phenomenally low. That's what it is. And the concern is that this is going to reflect on Drew McIntyre. The concern is that Drew is the man at the top right now. He is the person that's carrying the belt. He is the person whose name is, responsible for bringing the ratings in. If you're the champ, it's your job to sell out the house shows. If you're the champ, it's your job to bring in the viewers. You should be the person that they're tuning in to see. That's what the being the guy is all about. You can't just go around calling yourself the guy, calling yourself the man. You got to back it up with the numbers. And, credit to John Cena. He always did. So did Hulk Hogan. So did Stone Cold. Well, Drew's got the belt right now, and he's got to be bringing in some numbers. So it's really tough. It's not fair on him. Don't get me. It's not fair. But my concern is that Vince will look at it and go, "We've got to do something. We've got to get this belt on someone that's going to get ratings." And then they'll take it off him. Coaster Maniac says, "I can't wait for Total Divas tomorrow." Cool. Jim Gore says, "Ratings are an outdated system considering how many different ways there are to watch." Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of people that DVR and a lot of different ways to, catch up and things like that. So it is very different compared to how it used to be, but it still is a key indicator. Let's put it that way. It's a key indicator as to how the show is performing. I suppose you can't necessarily compare it to the 90s or whatever, because you're very right. It's a very different world. But I think you can compare it to last year, and you can definitely see that there's that decline. But again, we know what's going on in the world. We know that there's things happening. Days, shout out. I've been watching the streams for a year, and I straight love this channel. Shout out to you, LSW. Really, really appreciate the support. And I appreciate all of you joining us tonight. It's always nice. This is why we start an hour before, because to be honest, I just love sitting here and talking to you guys and just answering questions and talking about wrestling. Because, as I've said, I like to share my opinions, but I'm sure that this has got you guys watching along and kind of thinking about your own thoughts. And I don't think it'll go that way. I think it'll go this way, or can't see that happening. What about this? And I've said before, as a result, our chat is like a wrestling supercomputer, because we're just bouncing ideas around, and people just come up with some of the best ideas, some absolutely fantastic stuff. So yeah, I love it, man. And not only do I love this, but we've got some great wrestling to look forward to as well. So yeah, can't wait for that either. NDA Panda. Who was that? That was Designer, wasn't it? Do you remember that song? Can you please give a huge shout out to my little brother, Kevin? He's a huge fan, and he always talks about you. I always talk about Kevin. I just go around talking about Kevin. I'm like, oh man, Kevin, what a great guy. So shout out to Panda. And Panda's little brother, Kevin, who's a little baby panda. So shout out to Kevin, the little baby panda, and Panda, the older brother panda. Shout out to all the pandas. Days Ringside News also reported it. Wow. Stop there. That's what I'll say. Ringside News. You take that with a pinch of salt. They'll literally, anyone says anything, they'll report it. So I've seen Ringside News get a lot wrong as well as things right. But I'd rather go to a proper source rather than going to Ringside News. They tend to just report what Dave Meltzer says, or what WrestleVotes say, or what Sean Ross, or do you know what I mean? Ryan Satin, or they report on other people. But yeah, they're take it with a pinch of salt. He has to start an hour to receive all the love. Shout out to you, Nails and NY. Days, the way in which The Fiend got destroyed, those casual fans might have felt Bray as a joke. I think it destroyed the aura of the character in a way that can't be fixed. I don't know. It's definitely a misstep. Definitely a misstep. There's no way anyone can convince me otherwise. I think the Fiend character was great up until that Hell in a Cell match against Seth. I actually didn't mind the finish. I could see what they were trying to do. I think a ref stoppage is perfectly acceptable. I think that he was trying to turn Seth heel, and obviously ultimately, succeeded. So I totally get it. Like it was all about like turning Seth heel more so than winning that match. But the way the story was told and presented, and the confusion about was it a DQ, and you lost people. You lost people at that point. People definitely jumped off the Fiend hype train at that point. So I think that did a bit of damage. And then Goldberg absolutely did damage, having like the Fiend lose to an old man, because that's what he is now. He's a legend. He achieved a lot in the 90s. This is not the 90s. This is 2020. So having him lose in 2020 to Goldberg, I think, was not great either. So there's been missteps. But I do think that getting back to feuds that really make sense for the Fiend, like him against Braun, makes a lot of sense. We're still waiting for him against Randy Orton. That feud, the backstory, the burning of the compound, it's going to be so interesting and compelling, and there's so much that they can talk about that I'm really looking forward to that. So I think we can get it back. Never say never, but yeah, I agree. Definitely been missteps. True HN99 says, do you have Instagram? Because I messaged you. I do have Instagram. I never go on it. I think the last thing I posted was about a month ago, and it was to do with a toy hunt. I tend to use Instagram more for like figure videos and toy hunt videos and things like that. I just think that Instagram is really there for pictures, and if you've got some breaking news, there's not really pictures that you can attach to it. So I never use it for like theories or breaking news or the streams. I use it more for the figure videos, which means I just don't go on that much. Eric Haberman says, hi, Days. Did you get the Asuka video that I made for you? I have not seen that, no. I don't know if you tweeted it to me or if you sent it as a DM, but yeah, I'm drowning a little bit in both areas at the moment. Days, according to USA, Edge will be on Raw. Yes, so will Randy Orton. They announced it during the show. Days, Sting tweeted the moment that RoboCop was in WCW. That was not a great moment, in all fairness. When I think of classic Sting moments, I suppose that is a moment that I think of because it is quite iconic, but maybe not for the right reasons. LeBron fan 23 says, I think that the Raw ratings will go up when Becky, Randy, and Edge come back, even though I still don't know why Raw is 3 hours, but AEW and SmackDown and NXT are 2. It's adverts. So USA have turned around and said we would like it to be 3, and we can give you an extra hour of adverts and an extra hour of income, and WWE have gone, yes, please. I'm pretty sure if Fox would turn around and give them a 3rd hour, they'd do it because it's more income, it's more money. So I think, yes, they would take it. You got to remember, NXT was always an hour. They took it to 2. And I don't know if Fox would take SmackDown to 3. But I think if it was offered, they would do it. So, yeah, I tell you something I was thinking about the other day. I honestly think WWE is awful, absolutely awful, and I can't stress this enough, at social media, which is going to surprise you because they've got one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world. I think YouTube-wise, they do a good job. But I think if you look at how they promote NXT on Twitter, it's appalling. It's absolutely appalling. There is no tweet from NXT that I saw, and I checked last night, that's got the 4 images. There's individual tweets that says Karrion Kross this Wednesday, and then another individual tweet that will say Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream this Wednesday. So they'll put out individual tweets, but there was no big pinned tweet that had 4 images of look at all of this that's happening on Wednesday. Plus also, if you have a look at the wrestlers, they're kind of talking about lots of different things, and they might talk about, Velveteen Dream might say, can't wait to get my hands on you, Adam Cole, and stuff like this. But so many occasions where they don't say when. They don't say, this week on NXT, I'll show you that I'm good enough to be champion. This Wednesday on USA Net. Like, that side of it is totally missing. Whereas, you compare it to AEW. AEW are loud, clear, everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. I should imagine that they get told what to put up. There's a little video packages that they put up saying Wednesday that runs through all the matches. There's tweets that's got all the different things that you can see. The superstars are tweeting out about Wednesday, TNT, I'll see you at AEW, we're back to being live. The message is so much louder and clearer on social media from AEW. I just honestly, I think NXT is really missing out. I honestly think they could boost their viewers. Like, I don't even know. I wouldn't even want to put a number on it. But they could definitely boost their viewership if they were to sort their Twitter out, because it's not. In fact, I'm sitting here rambling, rabbiting away. Let me just have a quick look. As I said, I looked last night and I could not see like a tweet that had all the dates on and everything. If I put in WWE NXT 1 hour ago, WWE 1 hour ago. AEW do this days in advance, yeah, and they keep retweeting it and they keep doing stuff all in the build-up. That is the exact tweet that I'm talking about. That is the exact kind of thing that I'm talking about. And WWE sent it 1 hour ago. That's the kind of message AEW will have been shouting out since last Wednesday. And WWE posted it an hour ago. They could do so much better than that. So much better. So much better. They've retweeted that from an hour ago. I mean, look at this. 2 hours ago, happy birthday to Dakota Kai. Great, but how's that going to get you viewers for tonight? Awful. Awful. So if anyone from NXT social media team is watching, resign, because you're trash. Right, let's go down. Orange Cassidy is hilarious. He is hilarious. Days, if Heavy Machinery split, could Tucker go back to NXT like Killian Dane did? He could do. I'm still not buying into Heavy Machinery splitting until I see it from a better source than Ringside News. Nails and NY says, I don't watch, so I don't know, but someone was saying the NXT people are still squashed on Raw and SmackDown. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that so much. You do tend to see performance talent getting jobbed out, but they're not people that we've seen on... They're not people that we've seen on NXT. They're just performance. So they're not really NXT people, the jobbers. They're performance center people that are being trained at the moment. In regards to like people coming up and like representing NXT, I can't really think. I mean, Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink just got called up and they beat Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. Forgotten Sons had a little bit of a push. They looked strong the other day. Bianca Belair, I think, has come up and looked pretty good. I don't know. I think they've used them okay. In all fairness, I don't really think the NXT stars should be going to Raw and SmackDown and picking up wins. Because, like, Raw and SmackDown, I think, is still regarded... I suppose this is where they need to get clarity, isn't it? Like, is NXT the third brand like they keep saying it is? Or is it still developmental? Because I really think within the WWE fan base, there's confusion about that. And I think AEW clearly is just out on its own because it doesn't have lots of different brands. Whereas I think there's still confusion as to what NXT is. I see it as a third brand now. But then why are they not in Money in the Bank? Why is it only Raw and SmackDown stars? Why is there not NXT stars in Money in the Bank? You would have thought that would be a real easy, no-brainer to highlight NXT, but for some reason they've not included them in that. So I don't know. They keep saying it's a third brand. People don't appreciate what wrestling is. I get the mick taken out of me for watching wrestling. Do you think that people don't appreciate what wrestling is? I don't care. I don't care. I only care about people that watch it. Why would I care about the opinion of people that don't watch it? That's the way to think, isn't it? If someone's taking the mick out of you for wrestling, but yet they don't watch it, why would you even care? If someone wants to watch it and then they want to take the mick out of me, but they're coming from a place of knowledge, yeah, they watch the shows, they know what they're talking about, they can have a conversation with me on it, they can tell me why it's trash, and who knows, I might agree with them on some things, you know, because there are large parts of wrestling that I think are a little bit, probably need to be tweaked. I don't think there's too many people watching Raw or SmackDown right now that's saying this is a golden era, you know? Certainly the ratings don't suggest it's a golden era. So I definitely think there's improvements that could be made. But if it's going to come from someone that doesn't watch, don't even bother having the conversation, because I ain't listening. But you guys that do watch, I'm very interested to know what you have to say. Who else is missing? Hugs and high fives. Shout out to you, Sean. Hugs and high fives will return very soon. Love our community, says Miss Clown 1. Hopefully we can put a smile on your face, Carl. Sorry for your loss. I haven't seen what that's in reference to, but Carl, shout out to you, my friend, if you've suffered a loss. Absolutely. Stay strong, my friend. Days, do you think Karrion Kross will be the one that dethrones Adam Cole Bay? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? I mean, I don't know how he's going to be presented. I think he is a very big star. I think he could go right to the top. But then saying that, I would have said the same about Kushida. And I've been amazed that Kushida has not been pushed harder. I personally think Kushida is in the same bracket as Rey Mysterio. Genuinely. I think if you're going to talk about smaller guys, I think that Ricochet has got potential to be in that Rey Mysterio bracket. If Ricochet had changed, had a slightly different gimmick, if he was more like Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, then I really do think what he can do in the ring is very exciting. Give him a story to get his teeth into. I think that he definitely could connect with people. People seemed to be really into Ricochet, and he got to the point where he got a title opportunity, and then for some reason it's absolutely all fallen apart. I don't know if anyone's having a worse year than Ricochet. I mean, if people that obviously have kept their jobs. Obviously there's people that got released, but I mean, Ricochet has gone from being a single star to facing Brock, which at the start of the year was like, wow, yes, they're really pushing him, to getting buried, being on main event, getting thrown into a bit of a nothing tag team now. I mean, I like him and Cedric Alexander, but I agree with the Revival. The tag division doesn't mean anything. The Revival, very interesting, right? The Revival turned around and said they knew the tag division was dead when Braun and Nicholas won the tag titles. And I never thought about that. But they were saying, what prestige was left in those Raw tag titles when Braun Strowman and a 10-year-old child won them? What prestige was left in them? Braun single-handedly destroyed the tag division, and they said they've got nothing against Braun. Wasn't his fault, but that is tag team wrestling in WWE. And I thought it was such an interesting thing for them to say. I was really, really interested in that. So, it's weird. But yeah, I kind of thought that Kushida would be right up there, getting pushed like NXT champ kind of a thing. I would have thought the same with Ricochet. So, who knows? I mean, Killer Kross, obviously, or Karrion Kross is bigger, so that's going to work in his favour with Vince. But I do wish that they had a better cruiserweight division. I do wish that cruiserweight title would, main event pay-per-views. I really do wish... could you imagine if we had Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet versus Kushida as the main event for, Backlash or something like that? I really do think that the title needs prestige. Because they've got some of the best smaller guys. Not small guys, just smaller guys. They've got some of the best in the world. Eric Haberman says, the governor of Virginia said that we are going into phase 1 next Friday. That means some restrictions will be lifted. Okay, very cool. Days, did they spoil the winner of the Women's Money in the Bank when they said that Becky will confront the winner? I still don't know, to be honest, because I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if they can cash in on anyone. You know, is it like the Royal Rumble this year? Have they changed it so that whoever wins can choose whatever champion? Because if that's the case, then no. If it's that you've got to challenge your brand's champion, then yes. I mean, in all fairness, I don't give the SmackDown women a chance anyway. Lacey Evans, Carmella, Dana Brooke. I just don't see that happening. For me, it was always going to come from either Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, or Asuka. So I can't say it's spoiled, to be honest. It's stating the obvious, if anything. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Ricochet so far has faced Lesnar and won the US title and the North American title. Yeah, he seemed to be doing all right down in NXT. And kind of when they called him up, then I got concerned, because when he got called up, he got put straight into that tag team with Aleister Black. And it's like, I'm not sure about this. I mean, I suppose it establishes them. And things seem to be going, quite well, as we said. I mean, didn't know how it was going to play out, but yeah, this year he got to the point where he challenged Brock, and you looked at it and was like, brilliant, they're making a main event star here. Someone that they seem confident enough to give him that opportunity, but it was a squash. He got battered. He got absolutely it was an embarrassment. He didn't even come close. So it didn't establish him as a main event star. What it did was it showed that he was out of his depth. Certainly against Brock Lesnar. They literally fed him to Lesnar. And then that's it. I mean, he's nowhere near the main event. I don't even know when he'll ever get back there. I'm sure he will, but not for 2020. I mean, right now it seems like they're more interested in him being in this tag team. But honestly, I mean, I really thought that they were going to use him similar to like Rey Mysterio, and I mean, Rey Mysterio is a main eventer. You could put Rey, if you need a main eventer, you could always use Rey. He's a main eventer. He's a legend. He's one of the great masked wrestlers of all time. But it takes a lot of work to do that and build that, So I kind of thought they would treat Ricochet that way, but it doesn't seem to be panning that way right now. 2 minutes to go. Absolutely. Mike says, Days, do you like Raw, SmackDown, or NXT? Out of the three, what do you like the most? NXT. I think NXT is the better show out of those three. I don't think it's the easiest show to watch, to be honest. I think their humour is lacking. I think they tried a bit of humour last week, which I thought was quite funny at the start when Byron came out, but then very quickly lost its way for me. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see if there's a way that they can bring some humour into NXT, because I do think they are trying now. I think they went without it for quite a while. Days, the main reason the hacker storyline is red hot is due to the mystery surrounding who the hacker is. Do you think it would be tricky to book them with the same hype once they're revealed? Yeah, I do think it'll be tricky to book them once it's revealed. But it depends who it is and what the story is, So we'll have to wait and see. I think that it's got great momentum at the moment. I don't think it's CM Punk. I know a lot of people... I mean, it could be CM Punk that's, like, behind it all. But as people have pointed out, you can clearly see that CM Punk has got tattoos on his hands. And you can clearly see that the hacker hasn't. So, yeah, I don't believe it to be CM Punk. But, I know there's a lot of excitement because of, some of the things that have been said. Right, we've got about 30-odd seconds to go. I won't be able to watch tomorrow, but I will be around tonight. Shout out to you, Ben Russell. 1 minute, says Robin. Days, did you hear that WWE might be sold to ESPN? I have heard that rumour, yes. I think the Dream could win tonight. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because of these allegations. At least it seems like the lag is all right for us. That was my big concern. So it seems like things have settled down. It took Keith Lee a year to be relevant in NXT. Look at him now. Kushida doesn't even have a year in the company. Maybe. I just think that it's first impressions mean a lot. And they've done a lot with Keith Lee. I mean, don't forget, Keith Lee had a big kind of Survivor Series a few months back. Like, I'm not seeing them doing anything with Kushida right now. I mean, maybe he'll go on to win this Cruiserweight Championship. I honestly see him as, like, main event talent. He was a big name in New Japan. It's a big name in New Japan. I can't quite get my head around it. I honestly think it's because he's a smaller guy. It's the truth. I think Keith Lee has been given a push because he's a bigger guy. Whereas Kushida is a smaller guy, and I just don't think they know how to book smaller guys. They talk a lot about that airport factor. That's always been a big thing in wrestling. The airport factor is, if you see this person in an airport, would you be impressed? Keith Lee has got that. If you see Keith Lee, you'd be like, yes, that is definitely a wrestler. And you'd be quite impressed with his size. Kushida, you might not give him a second look. And I think Vince puts a lot in that airport factor. Right, we've got Tom Phillips down at ringside. This has got a bit of energy about it. Tom Phillips actually talking next to the ring. And we're going over to our first. Are we starting off with Johnny? AEW is about to begin as well. We're just going through the title sequence. So I believe we're starting with Johnny Gargano. Is he going to bring out Candice? Is Candice with him? I don't know where Candice is. Johnny came out with Candice. Where's Candice? How rude. Gargano is going to be in action tonight. He is taking on Dijakovic. Right, we've got Jim Ross, we've got Tony, we've got Excalibur over on AEW as well. So we got a nice, good, I mean, this will be a great match on NXT. Over on AEW, they're just running through the matches that we've got coming tonight. Days, if Keith Lee was in a match with you, would you win? No. No. If I was in a match with one of the referees, I'd lose. Many are speculating that the Revolt will possibly debut on AEW with the amazing show that NXT have got planned. Well, we were saying this before we started. I feel like AEW are going to have to do something because they've got matches like QT Marshall versus Lance Archer, and they've got Cody versus Joey Janela. I mean, great. You know, nice to see Cody and everything, but NXT have got Finn Balor, Charlotte versus Io Shirai for the title, and the NXT Championship on the line. Like, right now, sitting here right now, it's going to be hard to see how AEW can steal the headlines. I feel like Twitter's going to be talking about NXT tonight. AEW are going to be aware of that. We are back to being live. So let's see. They could. Something could happen. Okay, Dijakovic is making his way down. We've got Joey Janela taking on Cody. Oh, hello. Didn't want to move me. Right, let's lock that in. Okay, so Joey Janela versus Cody on AEW. So two interesting matches to start us off here. Always great to see Cody. Cody making his way out. Can't see Brandy with him. Cody looks like he's on his own. We got Johnny in the ring against Dijakovic. No Candice as well. There's a severe lack of women. Where are all the women? There's no women anywhere. Well, there is one woman. We've got Aubrey in the ring. Flames and fireworks going off on the entrance stage. Days, if the hacker is Ali, he will expose Nia because of the Rumble. What is there to expose? I think the Revolt will debut at Double or Nothing, says James. Days EC3 is apparently now going by the name of Ethan Carter. That makes sense. AEW is killing the Pyro game, says Esteban. Monica King, shout out to you. Dat King who plays says, if it worked for One Night Stand in 2006, it works here. If Charlotte wins, we riot. Yeah, I don't know what. That's a tough match to call, Charlotte versus Io Shirai. It's not a match I was expecting because it's heel versus heel. I feel like Io Shirai is one of the best female talents they've got. She's also someone that has never really been given the opportunity that I thought. She's kind of in the mix. She's there or thereabouts, but this is a big, big match for her. A big match for her taking on Charlotte. It should be a brilliant match. Nice arm drag takedown by Joey Janela. He went for another one, but couldn't quite connect with it. DJ B Tazzy says, Days, if NXT is taped, might you have the delay again? I believe it's live. I don't believe it's taped. Shout out to Braden. Hope you are well. Monica King, shout out to you. Boston Bruins says, can't wait for Kross's debut. It's going to be very interesting. Gargano gets hurled into the corner by Dijakovic. Chops coming in by Joey Janela. I don't like Gargano's new theme. I always have to have the music turned down, so I couldn't quite hear it, to be honest. I gotta say, I kind of expected his ring attire to be a little bit darker. His ring attire is kind of like light grey. A little bit of black in there as well. A little bit of blue in there by the looks of it. But it's a lot lighter than what I was expecting. I was expecting this to be a dark and moody Johnny Gargano. I think Joey Janela's got the most outlandish ring attire. He's literally got like leopard print tights with tassels. It's so great to see tassels back in wrestling. I've been asking for someone to sport some tassels for a while. And finally someone has stepped up. Joey Janela with some wonderful black and gold tassels around his waist. And they're shimmering and dancing away. And standing vertical suplex by Cody. He's got Joey Janela up. The tassels obviously drawn down to the ground. And so is Joey Janela, who's slammed face first. Cody going for a pin, but not even getting one. Johnny Gargano in control against Dijakovic. Unloading some big shots. Oh! Big clothesline by Dijakovic. Johnny Gargano goes down. One. Just a one. Just a one. Days they're making 9 wrestling games. Yeah. A lot of them are going to be awful. I'm looking forward to Battlegrounds. I'm looking forward to Retromania wrestling. That virtual basement thing looks okay. I'm all about Battlegrounds. Liam Costa, shout out to you. What's up, Days? How are you? I can't see Charlotte losing the title yet. I think she'll hold it for a little while longer. Yeah, I could see that. Keep saying this, though. I mean, this is my point, about this weekend. You know, Braun won the title at Mania. Drew won the title at Mania. So I don't think they're going to lose the title on Sunday. Charlotte won at Mania, so maybe she won't lose it tonight, but surely someone's losing the title at some point. I can't imagine all the champions are going to retain. Face first goes Johnny. Back elbow by Joey Janela. I would like Io to win. I'm not sure she will. Joey Janela going for an elbow. Here's Candice. Took your time, love. Where was you? Did you get lost? Candice has come down. She's got, silver Doc Martens on. Is that a short skirt? Or are those shorts? And she's got, a pink t-shirt on. Oh, Dijakovic getting pushed to the outside. Johnny against the ropes. Suicide dive. Down goes Dijakovic. Candice going over, checking on Johnny. Okay, so NXT goes to commercial break. Let's have a look and see what's happening over on AEW. We got Joey Janela, who's in control at the moment against Cody. Candice is here. Finally, a woman. A woman! I've heard about them. It's great to see one. As you said, we got Aubrey. I think we got Britt. Is that Britt? I can't even say the name. Britt Baker in the crowd. And I think Sean Spears as well, maybe. Let's go down. It's Candice LeRae, the evil version. It is. Daze, did you hear that Triple H is desperate for Okada and Ospreay? I haven't heard that, no. I heard that he was desperate. Who is he desperate for? I heard Switchblade Jay White. Honestly, I mean, would Vince know how to use Okada? No, is the answer. He wouldn't have a clue. After looking at how they're using Kushida. Double axe handle by Joey Janela. Triple H sold $1 million worth of stock as well. That was some interesting news that came in. Did you know 26 million people watched WrestleMania in India? That was a report that I read earlier. 26 million? I'm telling you, the time is right for that Indian faction. Chopped by Joey Janela. Time is right for Drew versus Jinder. Another chop by Joey Janela. So we're at commercial break for NXT. Joey Janela is firing some chops in on Cody right now. Throws Joey over to the corner. Face first. We're back in this. I don't know where is it? It's in Daily Place, is it? I can't remember what it's called. Jacksonville. So we're back at this like amphitheater for AEW. We want tassels, says Bama Captain. Yes. Mike says, do you like when Bray Wyatt is by himself or when he is the Fiend? I like both. I think both have got merits. I'm not sure if we'll see the Fiend on Sunday. It's Funhouse Bray that's being advertised. Cody jumps off that middle rope and kicks Joey Janela in the face. I think Aubrey is desperately trying to get Cody back into the ring. Cody going over, looking for a moonsault. Off the stage. Lands on Joey Janela. There we go. Moonsault. We're just going back to NXT. We're still underway with Dijakovic against Johnny Gargano. Candice is down to ringside. Paul Heyman is a big fan of Akira Tozawa. Akira's cool. Right, Cody and Joey Janela are both back into the ring. I can see Britt Baker, and I think it's Sean Spears, but I can't see anyone else in the crowd. They might only have 2 people over that one side. Right, Johnny has got a headlock on Dijakovic. Legit, I can't see anyone else over that one side. I think they might be sitting down, actually. There might be a couple of people sitting down. There's a few people the other side. They're just showing us. Elbow drop by Joey Janela. 2. Shoulder up. Dijakovic with a kick to the face of Johnny Gargano. Gargano against the ropes just walks right into a big right hand. Coaster Maniac says, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to handle another Jinder main title run like last time. I don't mind Jinder. I think that he has put a lot of work into coming back as an improved version of himself, very similar to what Drew has done. I think he needs to have good matches. He needs to get some momentum. He needs to pick up some wins. And I don't think he should be treated as a comedy act, kind of like he was before. We're hanging around with the Singh brothers. But if he can have some good matches, get some good momentum, prove that he deserves to be in that title picture, then I'd be all right with it. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Candice is grabbing hold of Johnny. She was trying to help him get to the edge of the ring. But Dijakovic just pulls him into the ring. Crossbody by Johnny. Dijakovic catches him. Oh, knee to the side. Hurls him away, but Johnny reverses, rolls him up, grabs the tights. Dijakovic kicks out. Cody takes his belt off and throws it into the crowd. I think Hikaru Shida catches it. Why has he done that? Nice takedown. Lovely back elbow by Joey Janela. Another 2 for Johnny. Do you think Balor will bring back the Demon? I don't know. It kind of seems like Balor's just quite dark anyway. It kind of used to be, in a way, the Demon used to be Balor's darkness. It used to be like an alter ego when he needed a little bit extra. So, maybe. But Balor as a person just seems to have become a lot darker now, so... Johnny was trying to take off the turnbuckle pad. Referee is tying it back up, but the referee's a little bit distracted. Choke slam. Oh, lovely. By Dijakovic, middle of the ring. Johnny gets his shoulder up. This is a very competitive match between Gargano and Dijakovic. Joey going over to the corner. Is he looking for a moonsault? Cody getting up to his feet. Joey Janela went for the moonsault. No one there. Cody, top rope, crossbody. The Cody cutter. 2. Shoulder up by Joey Janela. These matches rumbling along. 2 very good matches. This Cody versus Joey match is amazing, says Ozzy. Everyone that got released on Black Wednesday should go to AEW. Not sure that I don't think they're actually interested in everyone. Dijakovic flipping over. Super kick by Dijakovic. Johnny goes down, backs into the corner. Dijakovic has got Johnny. He's looking to try and get him on his shoulders, but Johnny is trying to hold on to that turnbuckle pad. Elbow to the side of the head. Back elbow by Dijakovic. Big strike across the back. He scoops up Johnny. Puts Johnny onto the middle rope. Club across the back. Dijakovic now looking for a power bomb. But Johnny, I think, is going to pull that turnbuckle pad off. He has. He's pulled the turnbuckle pad off. That turnbuckle pad is exposed. Face first. Dijakovic into the exposed turnbuckle pad. So the momentum has now swung. Nice chop by DDT. Spike DDT by Johnny. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Johnny Gargano wins thanks to an exposed turnbuckle pad. And Cody gets the victory as well on Joey Janela. Both matches finishing roughly around the same time. 2 very good matches. Robert, shout out to you, my friend. How are you doing? Robert will tell her you get back to me soonish. Gargano wins. He does. Shout out to Sasuke 100k. Hope you are well. Yeah, both matches really enjoyable. They're just showing replays on both. How long? 20 minutes that was. Obviously, we know some big stuff still to come on NXT. Some decent stuff still to come on AEW as well. So, Gargano is in the ring with Candice. think we've gone to commercial break on AEW. They're just showing us Imperium attacking Riddle and Timothy Thatcher from last week. Both shows have got good match cards. Days, what happened to Nigel on NXT? Maybe self-isolate him. Do you know what? That's a good question. I don't actually know what's happened to Nigel on NXT. It's a very, very good question. Let's jump into the chat. Would Vince know how to use Ospreay? No, Vince wouldn't have a clue. Not a clue. Not in a month of Sundays would he know how to use Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is very, very similar, isn't he, to Ricochet? Very, very similar. And I would argue that he doesn't really know how to use Ricochet right now. Timothy is amazing. Timothy Thatcher does look very good. Why is the Fiend mask so weird? I'm not sure that it is it? What do the wrestlers do during commercial breaks? Well, there's no matches on at the moment. AEW has gone to a commercial break, and we're just actually hearing from Bartel and Eichner. Obviously, they attacked Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle last week. I love the Imperium theme. Okay, well, there we go. A little... We've got the Cruiserweight tournament. They're just showing us Group B. Have we got some more of those matches tonight? I've not seen anything advertised for the Cruiserweight tournament tonight, in all fairness. I think, is NXT going to a commercial break? It's like Wednesday night commercial. Yes, both shows are at commercial break. What channel is AEW on in the UK? You have to have Fight TV app. You have to subscribe to that if you want to watch it. Shout out to Isman. David Hall says, Days, will the fans have to wear face masks when they come back? There's no news on that yet, but I would imagine so. I'd imagine that they're going to have to be spread out as well. They've been talking about 25% capacity and stuff like this. Like, yeah, there's no way we're getting back to like full crowd straight away. I don't even know when that's going to be the case, so we're going to have to wait and see. But yes, sadly, I do fear that there's going to have to be some concessions made for us going back to crowds at shows. Just had an advertisement. Vince struggles with walking, never mind booking Will Ospreay. Imperium just challenged Riddle and Thatcher, yes. Right, we are back with AEW. They're talking about it's been a while since we've seen Nyla Rose. What is your favourite Fiend moment? Probably the moment when we first saw the Fiend. That's probably my favourite. Right, so just a little video package on AEW as we're seeing Nyla Rose against Riho. Just seeing, obviously, how Nyla got the title from Rio. NXT is at commercial break, if you was wondering. How do you feel about the no audience shows? They've not been brilliant. There's no two ways about it. It lacks something. I mean, it's no surprise that the fans provide a lot to the shows, you know, the atmosphere. So they've definitely lacked a lot. My hope is that wrestling gets back to the popularity it had before. I mean, it's crazy because we were always talking about how the ratings were in the toilet just before the pandemic hit anyway. Now, we'd love to have those ratings. You know, the ratings right now are awful. Atrocious. But you can understand why. So, Mark says, I miss football. Days, why does the Fiend claw say hurt and heal? Well, we still haven't got necessarily answers on that, but there's quite a few interesting theories out there. I mean, there's quite a lot of theories about yin and yang. You know, you kind of think about how Funhouse Bray is all happy and everything. And then you've got the Fiend. Like, in a way, you could say that Fernand Spray is the light, whereas the Fiend is the darkness. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But again, you know, you've got hurt and you've got heel. So I think there's a lot of differences and counterpoints that exist within the Funhouse, and maybe that's just another example of that. Right, we're just seeing Io Shirai very excited. Very excited. Io Shirai, fantastic wrestler. Right, we're going over to Akira Tozawa now. Akira Tozawa is going to be in action. Tozawa. I don't know who he's facing. Right, so Akira Tozawa is making his way out on NXT. Not sure who he's facing. I believe over on AEW we may have Nyla Rose. It's been a little while since we've seen Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is here. The biggest, baddest female in the division, according to JR. Is she taking on Danny Jordan? Who's she facing? There seems to be a woman in the AEW ring. Looks a little bit like Danny Jordan, which would make sense because Danny Jordan has been at ringside, acting as a crowd member for a few weeks. So clearly, you know, she's got a great relationship with AEW. Jack Gallagher has come down. He's still got this wonderful cloak. It's like something the Bruiserweight would wear. Pete Dunne. It's the same kind of colours. We got Chris Statlander in the crowd. We got Hikaru Shida watching on. Britt Baker watching on as well. Right, we're underway with Tozawa against Jack Gallagher. It's Kenzie Page. She's 18. Kenzie Page. Why 18? Big strikes across the back. I think Nyla Rose is going to make short work of this young lady. I don't know. Is that what do we think about that? An 18-year-old? That seems very young. I mean, I suppose you've got to start somewhere, but trained by Dr. Tom Pritchard, which is the best training you can get, in all fairness. Duck underneath, over the top, looking for a sunset flip. Over on NXT, we've got Jack Gallagher in control against Akira Tozawa. He's firing kicks in to Akira Tozawa's back. Akira Tozawa slumped on the edge of the ring. Chris DeZuba says Days Monica is watching AEW and NXT, but last week's because she's late for this week's. Lol. She'll appreciate that comment. Days, apparently Italian scientists have come up with a vaccine. Days, considering the WWE booking these days and how crazy Vince is, I guess we should brace ourselves for even the slightest possibility that Drew may drop the title. Ooh. Swanton bomb by Nyla Rose on this poor 18-year-old. And Nyla Rose picks her up, won't allow her to get the victory that way. So here we go. She's going to go for a power bomb here after delivering a swanton power bomb to this poor young lady. Head scissor takedown by Akira Tozawa. She's going for another one again. She's absolutely destroying this poor girl. And another! Oh, sit down powerbomb. 2, 3. Nyla Rose wins. That was lovely heel work. Big fan of that. Putting her in there against an 18-year-old and then having her just batter the 18-year-old. And look, you can see how angry the rest of the women's division is. That's quite fun. I'm down with that. Days, what do you think about Matt Hardy? I think there's been already a few missteps, if I'm being honest. I really didn't like the teleporting thing. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So Nyla Rose has won her match. Akira Tozawa is going up top. Akira Tozawa comes crashing down on top of Jack Gallagher. Rolls Gallagher over. 2, 3. And Akira Tozawa gets the win. We got MJF right now on AEW. So great work by Akira Tozawa. Of course, MJF has been away for a little while. Days, who do you support? Man U. I do support Man U, yes. Tozawa wins. Tozawa does win, yes. So, Akira Tozawa has got 2 wins. He's in a very good position to progress in Group B. Obviously, we still need to see Group A. They're just having a word with Akira Tozawa. Days, could AEW get a second mid-card title? I don't think so. I don't think there's a need. You only need one. Back in the day, WWE, when it only had one roster, only had the IC belt. It didn't have the US title as well. I suppose it did bring in the European title. So I suppose it did have a second mid-card belt, but I don't think the roster's big enough for AEW. NXT, not bad match. No, it was alright. To be honest, the women's match on AEW actually grabbed my attention more. I like the story that they told. Like, first of all, I was like, 18 seems young. But I think that was probably the reason, because Nyla Rose destroyed that poor 18-year-old girl. And I think it was to get her over as a heel because she's been away for so long. Finn Balor is obviously on NXT tonight. We go to a commercial break. MJF is in some kind of awful CGI space. MJF says he's injury-free. Okay, well, there we go. So MJF returns next week. Next week, we've got MJF coming back. So is that going to go to commercial break now? Yes, I believe it is. MJF next week, yes. Days, I love Imperium's theme. It's a Beethoven-ish vibe. I don't know who does it, to be honest, but it is a very well-known piece of music. NXT, next week, MJF sits back on his throne, says Sean. NXT does not suck. No, it's been a good show. So far, NXT has been boring, but I think the 2 main events will clinch the win over AEW. I think it's been alright. I wasn't really into the Jack Gallagher-Tozawa match, if I'm being honest. I think the women's match grabbed me more. But I thought Gargano match was great. Really enjoyed it. I think probably I preferred the Gargano match. They're quite even at the moment. If I had to pick, I'd probably watch Gargano against Dijakovic again. But then I'd probably watch the women's match over Jack Gallagher-Tozawa. So 2 matches in, both shows probably have had 1 match each for me. So yeah, both shows doing all right. And as we said, we've still got the big guns to come. We've still got the heavy hitters to come. I'm probably more excited for Charlotte against Io than I am for Adam Cole against Velveteen. I think the timing of that is so wrong. It's very difficult to get kind of enthusiastic about that. Obviously, innocent until proven guilty and all of that, but still, I can't sit here and celebrate Velveteen winning the title if he does win. So I'm definitely into Charlotte versus Io more. Both shows are at commercial break. We're still, good 20-odd minutes away from the halfway point, so it's a shame that there's so many adverts. So much interruption. It's Dvorak. It's called Allegro. Okay, Symphony number 9. Lovely. Lovely knowledge. Days, who do you think is the worst wrestler? I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to say because I think a lot of the wrestlers that I wasn't a fan of have really started to be given some opportunity and they're getting given a chance to show what they can do. I'm thinking people like Liv. I was never a fan of Liv when she was in the Riot Squad. I always said she was brought up too soon from NXT. But obviously she's been given a bit of opportunity to show what she can do. I was never a big fan of Dana Brooke, but Dana Brooke had a decent match the other week against, I think, Naomi. Qualified for Money in the Bank, so she's getting a bit of a push. I think Apollo is someone that's always underperformed. Never quite reached his potential, but he's being given a push right now. So, I don't know. I don't know who the worst is in wrestling at the moment. Feel free to let me know who you think the worst is in the chat. We've got Shawn Spears doing a promo. Whatever happened to the Shawn Spears tag partner thing? It seems to have been put on hold, doesn't it? Because of, like, the coronavirus. So, Sean says you could have stopped Lance destroying your brother, but you didn't. So Sean is talking to Cody. I don't like AEW, says PT6. When does NXT end? Ends in an hour and 20 minutes. We're just seeing Charlotte backstage. So, Charlotte. Is that now? No? Oh, Xia Li. Xia Li from China. We got Shawn Spears and we got MJF and Wardlow just talking to Tony at ringside. Xia Li making her way down. Not sure who Xia Li is facing. So MJF is there. He's in the arena. MJF says to Shawn Spears, "You're the greatest man I've ever known." I do like Xia Li, by the way. Xia Li is a great talent. But it looks like she might be about to get buried because we've got Chelsea Green making her way out now. I think they're quite hot on Chelsea Green. Robert Stone brand. Okay, MJF is taking on Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. Well, there we go. Breaking news. It's going to be MJF versus Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. We got SCU making their way out on AEW. Is this going to be Kazarian taking on 20-minute time limit? This might be the Moxley match. Yeah. Okay, so Kazarian making his way down. So I think it's going to be Kazarian versus Moxley. Over on NXT, we got Xia Li versus Chelsea Green. I'm more excited about Xia Li. Gotta tell you, I mean, this woman from China, it's a big market that they could really exploit. I'm way more into her getting the victory here than Chelsea Green, who just strikes me as being very generic, to be honest. But clearly they see some in her. They've given her Robert Stone. Put her in quite a few different matches. Someone's come down to ringside. Is it Dakota? Xia Li. Kick to the midsection. Big kick by Lee. Chelsea Green, I think, is going to put Xia Li away. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Chelsea Green is victorious in a bit of a nothing match, but the biggest story is, I think, Dakota Kai involving herself. Daze, do you know Xia Brookside? Yes. I like her a lot as a wrestler. Haven't seen much of her, to be honest. I know she's on NXT UK and she's the daughter of Robbie Brookside. So, yeah, I've seen a couple of her matches, but I don't know much about her. Oh, no, it's Aaliyah? I thought it was Dakota Kai, but it's Aaliyah. So what, is Aaliyah going to be joining the Robert Stone brand or something? Okay, well, look, there's a bit of a story there at least. Okay, we got the Velveteen Dream. I don't see it. I don't see them putting the title on him, to be honest. He's backstage. He's sat on a sofa. He's got a sparkly silver robe on. He's got his music just playing in the background. No, it wasn't Dakota Kai. I know, yeah, it was Aaliyah. It looked like Dakota Kai. They're just showing a little video package for Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Here we go. Up next. Wow, people are going to be very excited about that. Karrion Kross and Scarlett debut. Not long to wait, my friends. Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Over on AEW, we should have the champ making his way down. We should have Jon Moxley. There he is. Velveteen just got out of a bubble bath, says Butterspark. Thebin says, Days, have you ever wondered Mania 34 must have been worse for Japanese fans as both Asuka and Nakamura lost when we thought that both of them might be crowned champions? True. Did the Dream ever find out what school she went to? Oh, dude, those are allegations. Xia Li is sloppy, says Mark Clark. Interesting. They should let All Elite Wrestling in at Survivor Series. Not happening. TikTok says Sean Rousset. Days, do you remember when Kazarian was in WWE in 2005? Yeah, he's been around. Moxley down with that wonderful AEW Championship. Legit one of the best looking belts in all of wrestling, in my opinion. I think it looks so prestigious. It really doesn't feel like a title that's only been around for a few minutes. It already feels like it's got a lot of history and a lot of prestige. It's got a lot of detail on the belt. It's great shape, great size. It's a nice big faceplate. It's a great belt. Love that belt. So much better than the WWE one, in my opinion. Okay, we are getting ready to... This is quite nice. I like the fact that it's a non-title match, but I like the fact that we're getting a match that you wouldn't normally see. You know? Moxley taking on Kazarian. It's not for the title, because that obviously should only be for, like, number one contenders. But it's nice to see how Kazarian would do. It'd be really cool to see, like, Braun against Otis. Imagine Braun versus Otis, non-title match. That'd be really cool. I've got my Cross shirt. I am ready. C Wrestling says, seeing Dream in that promo was uncomfortable. Felt very Savile creepy. It's just his character. But WWE shouldn't be having him on TV until things are cleared up either way. Completely agree. Completely agree. Mike says, Days, how do wrestlers come out from under the ring? What do you mean? What do you mean? Some, it depends when it is. Some can be under there before the show starts. Some can go in during the break. And then they just come out. I don't know what you mean. There's not like a trapdoor or anything. I really want Charlotte to lose the NXT Women's Championship, but I think she will retain. I like Charlotte. I've got no issues with Charlotte. I know she's not popular. I know people don't like her. I'm not going to sit here and try and defend her. But I think she's a good wrestler. I think she's a good wrestler. I think that she is carries herself like a champion. I think she always said that Ric Flair always said to her dad always said, don't wear your own merch. Don't wear your own t-shirt. Wear like you are the champion. Carry yourself like a champion. Even if you're not the champion, present yourself as the champion. And that's what she always does. Okay, we're looking at the entrance now. So we've got like smoke. We've got, I believe that might be Scarlett just standing there. And there's some kind of bird that's flying on the screen. There's a lot of fog. It's a big entrance. And here he is. He comes walking out. Karrion Kross. So black and white. The whole thing is black and white on NXT. Karrion Kross slowly makes his way down. He's just got trunks on. There's Scarlett. We've got some operatic music. Not sure about her doing that to the camera, singing into the camera. I didn't need that. I think she does a lot of singing, actually, Scarlett. I've seen clips of her singing. In fact, this could be her singing. I don't know. I'm not into her mouthing along with the song. I think that looks a bit silly, if I'm being honest. Just my first opinion. It changes all to colour now as the song breaks down, and I do like him standing there with his mouth open, arms stretched up to the sky, as this operatic entrance music turns into more like heavy metal, thrashing guitars. Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Good presentation, good opening. Don't need her to be singing along. The Tandem of Terror. The guy was in the ring all the time. Poor guy must have just been stood there whilst they were doing this entrance. Well, it feels like a big talking point. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I like the fact that it's black and white and then it bursts into colour. I think that's very cool. I think him standing there with his mouth open, throwing his arms into the sky looked awesome. I think her standing there at the start, like, and you just see this figure and everything. But I think it would have had more impact for me if they'd have just come down and weren't, like, singing along. That's my only criticism. I think the presentation of it looked very good. I didn't even catch this guy's name. Is it Leo Slow? Do you remember that Leo Slow guy that we saw the other day on Raw? It looks a little bit like that guy. The Cross jacket. It doesn't even matter what his name is. It's over. It's done. Do we get another performance now? Do we get part 2 of the concert? Karrion Kross is the devil, apparently. He looks great. With her by his side, it's interesting. Ref was going to raise his hand and he just stares at the ref and the ref walks away. She does have a bit of sable about her. I can definitely see those two bringing in views. I think people are going to find her attractive and people will tune in for that. I think that he looks great. He's got a great look. Big guy. I think it's a nice entrance. Yeah, good. Good debut. I think people have been waiting for that and I think people will like it. She's got gloves on that seem to have, like, built-in nails. Oh, she's singing along to the ending. I don't like that. Regia says, Dave's favourite jobber is Leon Ruff. Sable. Yeah, I was definitely getting Sable vibes from her. Wow, there we go. Dexter Loomis is the guy that attacks Balor. I hope it was Loomis. I'm really hot on Loomis. Liam says, what did I just witness? That was creepy. She was popular in Impact. Shah versus Io next. Sean says, well, at least we know the smoke machine is working. Working overtime. That theme was like the old Armageddon pay-per-view. She definitely looked a lot like Sable. Taya Valkyrie. Imagine that entrance at WrestleMania. Yeah. As I said, I would tweak some bits in it. But I think as a first kind of, here they are. I mean, you got to remember, I don't watch Impact, so I've not experienced that before. I've definitely seen her singing before, so I know she loves to sing. But I like the black and... Well, I've kind of given my thoughts. I like the black and white and how it burst into colour. I liked when the music really got going and it was in colour, that he stood there with his mouth open and arms in the air. I thought that looked great. So, yeah, interesting. Shah is going to lose, says John Elite. Over on AEW, we've got Jon Moxley in control against Kazarian. Now I want to see Scarlett wrestle, says Liam. She was awesome on Impact, says Charles. Here we go. Moxley slams down Kazarian hard to shoulder up. So NXT has gone to commercial break. Moxley has got a headlock on Kazarian right now. Vape Ross Vape says, all sizzle, no steak. Welcome to the mid-card. We haven't seen the steak yet. That's all I'll say. Lots of sizzle. 5-second match. It's too early for me to say if mid-card or not. You know they're going to get pushed. Maybe. Knee by Moxley. Forgot you didn't watch Impact. You would have loved him. Killer Kross, he was awesome. Karrion against Aleister Black. Yep, that's the kind of matches you can start to dream about. Could Karrion Kross be the new Lars Sullivan? I don't think anyone wants to be the new Lars Sullivan. I love the whole entrance except for the singing. That was odd, says LSW. Your boy says I enjoyed it. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Mike. Both shows have been good and we're only in the first hour, says J14. I agree with that. Charles says no, mid-carders. Kross and Scarlett can both cut promos. Robin813 says, I completely disagree. Kross is a future champion. Esteban says, I miss Jericho on commentary. Hellawake says, I'm disappointed with the squash match. Karrion Kross versus Fiend. Wow, we've got a way to go before we get to that, I think. I would like to see Karrion Kross against Aleister Black. WWE NXT is getting dark with their characters. I think it's good. You know, I think The Fiend has really showed there's an appetite for characters to get a little bit darker in their presentation. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, I love Dexter Lumis. We've seen him for a few weeks now. He can go in the ring. He's got such an interesting character. I really love his entrance. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, I hope it is Loomis that attacked Finn Balor. I'll be really excited if that's going to be our next feud. And that would be a great feud for Loomis. I don't think he wins that feud, but it could really provide us with some very interesting imagery. Just got an advert for the NXT shop. Kazarian doing maybe a bit too well against Moxley. I'd expect Moxley to do a little better here against Kazarian, but he is a legend, I suppose. He's been around a long time. So they're trying to give Frankie Kazarian a moment. Right, we're backstage with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. Bro. He's got some Skull Candy headphones around his neck. Matt Riddle says they had the audacity to ruin the Newly Bro show. Matt Riddle said his game is here. And he's asking Tim, what do you think? Tim's always ready for a fight. You knock him out, I'll tap him out. So, there we go. It looks like we're on our way towards the Broserweights taking on Imperium. And here comes Io Shirai. I would love for her to win. Io Shirai, the genius of the sky. I just want this to be a great match. That's what I want. I just want this to be a great match. Io versus Charlotte Flair. Chris says MJF is in the crowd for this match. He is, yes. They interviewed him before. Tony told him that he was going to be facing Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. Which does make it a little strange that they did that promo in like a green screen area. Why didn't they just have him do the promo at ringside? Okay, so Io in the ring. Stretching out, getting ready for this big, big challenge. Say whatever you want. This woman has main evented WrestleMania. Has won countless. I mean, we're at the point now where it is countless world titles. Current reigning NXT Women's Champion. In my opinion, had the best match at WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley. She's come out looking like $1 million with a gold robe. Has done a lot for women's wrestling. I am a fan of Charlotte Flair. Not. Don't care. Don't care what people think. The daughter of Ric Flair. Charlotte stepping into the ring for hopefully to have a great match against Io Shirai. Kazarian's still battling away with Moxley. I'm not sure about this. I feel like this match has gone too long. Okay, so Charlotte has got the NXT Women's Championship around her waist. Takes it off, puts it over her shoulder. Io stares over, very, very excited for this fight. This is something I don't like about NXT. I don't like how they have them just kind of standing pretty close to each other. There's a couple of meters distance between them. But when it comes to like UFC, they're over the other side of the octagon. Like, I really do feel like Charlotte should be in one corner just staring, just really ready to go. Really staring at Io. And Io should be in the other corner, like, really ready to go as well. When they get announced, they can be like, do you know what I mean? But they're back focused, staring at each other. With this, they're kind of standing, like, next to each other. And they're not, like, staring each other out or anything. Granted, at this bit now, after the introductions, they do turn and face each other. But I do feel like they could present that a much, much better way. They did that for the North American Championship with Keith Lee. It looked even weirder when you had Keith Lee versus Dijakovic versus Damian Priest, because you had three of them just standing in a row, just kind of looking a little bit awkward. Like, they should put them into the corners. And it would look so much better. And it would be more in line with what they do in UFC. The Dark Order have come down. The Dark Order now are starting to beat up on Jon Moxley. Does that mean we're building towards Brody Lee? Does it mean we're building towards Brody Lee and Jon Moxley? Is that going to be our main event for Double or Nothing? Beautiful kip up by Io Shirai. Io Shirai ducks underneath a clothesline. Cartwheels all over the place. Flips everywhere. Io Shirai is going to give everything in this. Io is going to give everything, and Charlotte isn't going to quite know how to deal with this. Io is Rey Mysterio. Io is Ricochet. Io is a high flyer like you just don't have. In fact, I can't think of another woman on the NXT roster that is comparable to Io Shirai. Dark Order are unloading right now. Lovely. She's got her legs wrapped around the head and the shoulders of Io. It's a great way to keep her grounded. Dark Order are still firing kicks away. Io gets slammed down. The Prime Minister of New Zealand is going to announce what Alert Level 2 looks like. Shah shouldn't have had that many title runs. I don't disagree. But I think that's a problem more with WWE's booking than it is for Charlotte. Brody Lee has made his way down. So I think Brody Lee is going to confront Jon Moxley. So this is a very interesting development. Discus Lariat by Brody Lee, who's in his suit. Flip over the top by Io, but Charlotte catches her with a big strike to the chest. They're going to have to give this match a little bit of time here. Women's Championship on the line. Brody Lee actually addressing Jon Moxley. See what he's got to say. There's no crowd. There's no energy to lift you up. No one's here to save you. I'd love it if Renee Young came out. Or Roman. Imagine Roman. We've gone to commercial break for NXT, which is very useful. Brody says, I've got a lot that you desire. Maybe he's talking about that lovely tie. Brody says he is a leader. Isn't it funny to see, like, Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper in the ring on AEW? We appreciate you making yourself available tonight. What does that mean? Brody says, you're the unfortunate soul that's come into possession with something that I want. And he goes right over to that AEW World Championship. Looks like we're on the path to Brody Lee and Jon Moxley. Very tasty. I'm into that. Days, imagine a no DQ Loomis Balor match. Brody Lee says, I don't know if you're reasonable. I don't know if you're a movie star now. Of course, that is it. Cage Fighter movie came out that's got Moxley in it. Answer my challenge, or we will make you. He throws the microphone down. It smacks Moxley in the face. What's Moxley going to say? I hope he tells him to do one. Here we go. Moxley's got the mic. All you had to do was ask. Moxley laughs. Big boot by Brody Lee. Moxley goes down. And now the Creepers. Is that what they're called? The Creepers are beating up on Moxley. There we go. The challenge has been made by Brody Lee. Coaster Maniac says, great promo by Brody. Mike says, why do you never show your hair? You always wear the hat. I've shown my hair loads of times on these watch-alongs. Loads of times. Brody with the AEW Championship in his hands. As AEW goes to commercial break. Get your scores in, your halftime scores for both shows. We're a little bit late when it comes to the halfway point. There's been a lot to talk about over these past half an hour or so. What with the Karrion Kross debut, Moxley match. We're now well underway with Shah and Io. So get your halftime thoughts in. What you think about both shows so far. Io on the outside. Springboard. Missile dropkick by Io Shirai. Charlotte gets driven back into the corner. Io charging over. Back elbow by Charlotte Flair. Io Shirai goes down. Charlotte looking to go up top. She's onto the middle rope already. Normally she hits a moonsault from here, but she's certainly not going for that now. And Io loves it up there. Io Shirai The genius of the sky head scissor takedown from the middle rope. Io screams out. Io going over for a quick pin. Charlotte down, gets a 2. Charlotte kicks out. Charlotte kicks out, and Charlotte's in a bit of pain here. I'm not sure Charlotte really knows how to deal with the threat of Io Shirai, because she certainly can't be going up top. You've got to keep Io Shirai grounded. Big uppercut, big boot by Charlotte. Charlotte backs into the corner. You can see that she's in a bit of pain here. She's holding onto her jaw. I think she's taken a few strikes. Nice backbreaker. Hurls Io into that middle turnbuckle. Io goes down. Smile starting to come across the face of Charlotte at this stage. Charlotte now looking for that moonsault maybe. It's risky. Any time that you go up top, it's going to be a risk. She's on the top. Moonsault. Io moves. No one home for Charlotte. No one home. Another open palm strike. Charlotte was holding onto her jaw anyway. Io with a 619. Charlotte blocks it. Charlotte rolls into the corner. I don't think Io got much of that 619, but she got a lot of those double knees. Double knees in the corner, going for the pin. 2. Kick out. Shoulder up by Shaw. Shoulder up by Shaw, and Io Shirai cutting a very frustrated figure. We've gone back to AEW. Not sure what match we've got coming up there. Need to keep an eye out on that. They're just showing a replay of Moxley being attacked. Here we go. Look, Io. This is going to be a battle of the moonsaults. Io with her own moonsault, but Charlotte gets her knees up. Is this Charlotte's opportunity? Big boot. Big boot goes for the pin. 2. Kick out by Io Shirai. Io Shirai managing to get her shoulder up. Charlotte really thought she had that then. Really thought that she had that. It's been some big spots here. Charlotte going for a moonsault. Io going for a moonsault. We're just seeing Brandy Rhodes over on AEW. Into the corner goes Charlotte. She's holding her face there. I think she hit into one of those turnbuckle pads. She goes down and to the outside. Io Shirai going up top. She's going to look for a moonsault to the outside. She's in position for it. Up top, moonsault. Oh, no one there. Kendo stick. Kendo stick by Charlotte. DQ. Charlotte with a kendo stick. Hurls Io's leg across the edge of the ring. And wraps it round the ring post. Charlotte Flair with a kendo stick. She's tipping over the ring steps, moving them completely out of the way so that she can... Oh, here's Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley returns. We've not seen Rhea Ripley since WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley comes running down, grabs Charlotte, face first into the edge of the ring. Rhea Ripley jumping into the ring, trying to chase after Charlotte. Charlotte grabs that NXT Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley returns to NXT. Draws a line in the ring. And Charlotte scurries away. Io Shirai is victorious in the match, but by DQ, so doesn't win the title. Io seems to be upset with Rhea Ripley. I'm not sure why. Rhea Ripley saying, be thankful, be grateful. Well, there we go. Didn't expect Charlotte to lose the title. Wasn't sure which way it would go, but I agree with the chat that it was a little bit... She's only just got it at WrestleMania, so it may be a little bit soon. So, yeah, she has found a way of retaining, but she's been DQ'd. We could be building towards a triple threat there. We could be building towards Io versus Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, which I think would be very interesting. I'd be down for that. Not a bad little match. I wish we would see them when they go up top. I would like to see things other than moonsaults. Like, whenever they go up, you tend to just get a moonsault. I mean, they both do moonsaults very, very well, but I'd like, Io Shirai, the genius of the sky, I'd like to see a little bit more in her arsenal. I think she's got it. I'm not sure NXT let her express it, or show it. Lance Archer versus QT Marshall is what we've got on AEW. I can tell you that NXT is at commercial break. What about Mia? Mia was beaten last week fair and square, wasn't she? So I think she's out the mix. So we got Lance Archer, we got QT Marshall. I think Brandy has come down with QT Marshall. I think, did Jake come down with... Yeah, Jake's at ringside with Lance. Alright, let's go back into the chat. QT is about to die, says LeBron fan 23. Liam says, Days, I think Charlotte is the best woman on any roster in WWE, and probably an unpopular opinion, but I think she is the greatest women's wrestler in WWE of all time. I've got a soft spot for Asuka. I think that Charlotte has achieved more than Asuka, but I think Asuka is a better wrestler. I think that, if you're talking about the best women of all time, then you've got to talk Trish, Lita, Chyna. But I think you could be starting to put the likes of Becky and Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley within that bracket as well. Lance in the corner, charging over with a back elbow on QT Marshall. We're still at commercial break for NXT. Back elbow by QT Marshall. Over the top rope goes Lance Archer. Both shows are good, but NXT got them to me, says Michael. Sonny Wolf says 7 out of 10 for both shows so far. Shane Bianca is now on Raw. We never got the payoff between that Mania feud between her and Charlotte. We could still see it, in all fairness. Charlotte is still on Raw, so it's not necessarily done. So, Rhea Ripley is back. Rhea says, yes, she beat me at WrestleMania. That was one night. Here's Io pushing Rhea. There's a bit of pushing back and forth between Io and Rhea. And there's a referee separating them. There's a brawl that's broken up outside NXT. It's good. I'm into this. Lots of shouting. They really want to get at each other now. There's Adam Cole, baby. Still to come, we've got the NXT Championship being defended. Adam Cole defends against the Velveteen Dream. We've still got Finn Balor as well. We've got Kushida making his way down. We're still underway with that Jake Roberts match. Okay, so here is Kushida. Not sure who Kushida is facing. I mean, look, if you don't watch New Japan, then you can't appreciate just how big this guy was in Japan. He legit was one of their big stars. He was at Wrestle Kingdom and he used to come down. He had a great entrance. Like, he came out in the Back to the Future car. Like, he drove onto the stage in the Back to the Future car. And I remember, like, there was a professor who was doing, like, some science experiment. And there was a little Kushida that it went wrong and this little Kushida came out and everything. He's had some really fun entrances, but not only that, he's had some epic matches. Great matches over in Japan. My pick to win it, Kushida. Taking on Jake Atlas. Kushida has won many tournaments in his native Japan. Absolutely has. Lance Archer still battling away with QT Marshall. From what I've heard, it's split between NXT and AEW at the halfway stage. Both shows have been okay. If Kushida loses, we riot, says Dylan. Michael says Adam Cole won't lose the gold until the crowds come back. Yeah, we've got just under 40 minutes. More Dexter, says Tony. Well, hopefully that is the person that attacked Finn Balor. I agree with the chat. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't think this match is going to go long because we've still got the Finn Balor segment and we've still got the main event, Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. Yeah, Kushida hurls Atlas into the corner. Arm drag takedown. Shoulder charge by Atlas. Atlas going against the ropes. Over the top, Atlas. Nice handstand, but Kushida takes his arms away. And Atlas has to roll out of the ring. Kushida going up top. Nice. Comes crashing down onto Atlas on the outside with a senton. We're still underway. I don't understand how Lance Archer, this absolute monster, is still having this match against QT Marshall. I don't get it. Marshall in a corner, collides into Archer. Kushida in a commanding position here against Atlas. Open palm strike. Atlas goes down. How many days do Adam Cole reign gonna? I don't know. I'm not sure what his reign's at right now, to be honest. Did they go back to the purple strap? It was black for a bit. No, I believe it's... Well, I don't know. I think it is black. I don't know what that one is, because that's the interim title. I think that's black as well. Kick out by Kushida. There we go. Archer finishing off QT Marshall. Oh, no. He could have got the 3, but he does exactly what Nyla Rose did earlier. Picks up QT Marshall and breaks the count. Gets the pin now, though. Net breaker by Atlas. Kushida having to roll out the ring. Atlas going against the ropes. Kushida moves out the way. Atlas changes direction, though. That was good from Atlas. So, Jake watching on as Lance Archer. Oh, look at that. That was beautiful. That was great. Atlas off the top, but straight into an armbar. Got caught. Love that finish. Mid-air into an armbar. That's the best finish of any match that we've seen so far tonight. Love that finish. So innovative. Brandy has been thrown into the ring. Oh, Jake has got a snake. Jake has grabbed a snake on AEW. Brandy is down. And Jake has managed to get a little snake from somewhere. It's not the biggest that we've seen. But here we go. He puts the snake on Brandy. And is talking some trash. He's making sure that it goes all over her face. Jake the Snake puts a snake on Brandy Rhodes. And I love how he keeps repositioning it. He keeps moving it around like he just made sure that it was on her face. Oh, could you imagine if it bites her? It just seems to be having a little look at her arm there for a second. I hope it's had dinner. Look, and again, he just chucks it right back on her chest. Wow. How great to see Jake with a snake, Roberts. I mean, she is out. She is out cold. She's just lying there. Where's Cody, by the way? How great. Love that. Days, if we still had Mania at the Raymond James Stadium, do you think we would still get the Boneyard and Funhouse matches? I think there's a chance you would have got something to do with the Funhouse match. It might have been that they finished it in the ring for real or something. Boneyard, yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I think the Funhouse would have happened because I think that's a big part of the Bray character. Boneyard, maybe not. Maybe it would have been just a straight normal match. Maybe I'm sure I heard a rumor that Undertaker was going to drive to the ring on a motorcycle. That was the original plan. So I think you would have got a proper Undertaker match. Both shows are at commercial break. Days, your AEW is 5 minutes behind. What can I say? Yeah, where was Cody, says Monica. I don't know. Perhaps he doesn't like snakes. Perhaps he doesn't like brandy. I don't know. Shout out to Jim Ackerman. Hope you are well. Cody was having a little bit of bubbly. Cody's definitely sleeping on the couch after this. He is, Melvin, yes. Imagine when she sees that clip back. Surely she is going to be asking the same question as us. Very cool. I hope WWE doesn't have Asian women doing the same thing as Asuka. Asuka screams in her language. And now so does Io. I hope it's not a trend. Number one trend in the UK right now is NXT. I think it had the bigger show on paper, to be honest. So I think AEW is going to have to do some stuff to really, change that. I think they've done well. Seeing Jake with the snake was great. Brody challenging. John Moxley was a nice little moment as well. So I think AEW are not going up against a normal NXT episode, are they? This is an exceptional NXT episode. So I think AEW is still doing well, all things considered. Cody was tweeting Dave Meltzer. Days, who won, Io or Charlotte? Io won, but it was by DQ, so sadly she does not get the title. AEW has been amazing tonight, says Madupt. Well, both shows right now are at commercial break. We've got half an hour to go. Half an hour to go, and that is it, my friends. We're just going back to AEW. So we are back with AEW. They're talking about Double or Nothing. Not sure when that's going to take place, but it is Jon Moxley versus Brody Lee for the AEW World Championship. So Brody Lee is going to have an opportunity to fight for a World Championship. And MJF is going to be taking on Jungle Boy. NXT is back as well, just showing some charity footage. We know that we've got the TNT Championship Tournament final, Cody versus Lance Archer. That taking place at Double or Nothing. It's going to be a big show, Double or Nothing. It looks great. Right, it should be Balor now for NXT. Casino ladder match as well. So the winner will get an AEW title shot. So a casino ladder match. Okay, here we go. Finn Balor is making his way down on NXT. Does he even know? I don't even know if he knows who attacked him. Taz is backstage with Darby Allin. He's gone over to the plinth. They like to do these promos at this plinth now, don't they? Let's see what Balor's got to say. I used to think the biggest snakes in this place were in the office. But now I'm not sure. Attack the guy, get the push. Okay. I like this promo. Now you're in the ring with the Prince. And there's nowhere to hide. This is a very dark Balor. Balor says he's a patient man. He doesn't know. The push you're expecting. It won't be a push. It'll be a squash. So, he's addressed his attacker, but I don't think he knows who it is unless they're going to reveal themselves. I think they're going to tease it a little bit longer, aren't they? Breaking news next week, it is going to be the Tag Team Championship match. Matt Riddle, Timothy Thatcher, going to be taking on Eichner and Bartel Imperium. So next week we've got Jericho in action on AEW, and next week on NXT we've got Tag Team. So that's a bit disappointing. I was hoping for a bit more than that from that segment, if I'm being honest, but it was still a decent little promo. It's all right to not get everything. Cameron Grimes making his way down. Just eating up a little bit more time until we get to that main event of Adam Cole against the Velveteen Dream. I think we might be at the main event for AEW, though, because Jericho and Sami Guevara are making their way down. Hardy and Omega. There we go. So that's what we've got happening on AEW. We've got Jericho and Guevara versus Hardy and Omega. We got Cameron Grimes against... Oh, is this guy again who's like a amateur wrestler? Didn't catch his name. Belly to belly, though. Lovely work. Cameron Grimes getting caught. And another. This guy, I like this guy. Oh, but there's that finisher. The double stomp by Cameron Grimes. And he's caught him. And he's got him. Done. Cameron Grimes wins. Adam Cole needs to retain. I hate Cameron Grimes. I can't quite get a read on him. I'm not a big fan. I don't think he's anything compared to what Karrion Kross or Karrion Kross is going to be, or I don't think he's anything compared to what we've seen from Dexter Lumis. He could get lost in the shuffle, but he is a decent wrestler. Let's see. Times are changing around here. They really are. It's grime time. Cameron Grimes says he deserves better than this. Cameron Grimes deserves better than what he's got right now. So Cameron Grimes says someone must have beaten him to it. Balor's behind Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes is cutting a promo. Balor's coming walking down. Cameron Grimes would slap the taste right out of Finn Balor's mouth, and he's standing right next to Cameron Grimes. Look at how serious Balor is. You've been talking for 2 minutes saying about how you're going to slap me in the face. Cameron Grimes is saying, I'm not trying to mess with you. If you're going to slap me in the face, slap me in the... I like this. I really like this. Cameron Grimes saying, don't touch me. Here we go. Takedown by Balor. Double stomp by Balor. Cameron Grimes getting up. Sling blade. Cameron Grimes goes down. Really into this. Watch it. Looking at a very angry Finn Balor just come walking down behind Cameron Grimes. There's a snake hiding in the long grass. I'll find him. Brilliant. Take off its head. Yeah. Best way to kill a snake, chop off its head. Just a fun fact if you wanted to know. So, yeah, I love that. I said I felt a little underwhelmed after he was at the podium and just cut a little promo. It needed something a bit more. It absolutely just got it. Absolutely just got it. Finn Balor coming walking down behind Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes not seeing it. Balor dealing with Grimes, who was running his mouth off. Good. Very good. I want a 6-man of Cena and the Hardys versus Legacy. Guevara's record is 11-12. Matt Hardy's going to teleport to the ring. Don't miss it. Promo City by Balor, says Butter Spark. It was good, wasn't it? Really enjoyed it. What if Demon Balor attacked Finn Balor? What, he's got an inner struggle, an inner conflict. Right, we've got Jericho in the ring. We're approaching the final 20 minutes of both shows. We're at main event for AEW, and we've got to be at main event for NXT. Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream. Omega making his way down is one half. I forgot he was one half of the AEW Tag Champs. Where's Hangman Page? So here we go. He's making his way down. First career tag match with Matt Hardy. He has never tagged with Hardy before. So, Kenny Omega in the ring. AEW match card next week looks good. Did Cameron Grimes attack Balor? No. Cameron Grimes said that someone had got there first. He said he would. He wanted to. He said it's a shame that someone got there before me, so he's not claiming it was him. Okay, so Matt Hardy making his way out. broken Matt Hardy. And it says Damascus on the screen as he makes his way down. This is his AEW debut. So, Matt Hardy in the ring. Hardy and Omega against Jericho and Sami Guevara. Hardy was biting Sami Guevara. We are underway with this tag match. They're going to give it plenty of time. 20 minutes this has got. Dad Jeans Wednesday. Sami Guevara is in jeans, and Kenny Omega is in jeans as well, yes. It's a little bit weird, because it does make it look like Sami Guevara and Kenny Omega are a tag team. They're both wearing, like, black t-shirts and jeans. Nice sit-down powerbomb by Matt Hardy, and a kick-out shoulder-up by Sami. Hardy's jacket looks like it came from Star Wars. Well, I don't know what it is. It's not really a jacket, is it? Back elbow. It's like a... What, I want to use the word tunic, and I don't even know if that's the word I want. It's the word I've used. Clothesline to the outside. Jericho goes to the outside. Kenny picks up Sami. He's got him on his shoulders. He's running around the ring with him, parading him around like a show pony. Forward roll and a flip up by Kenny. Kenny onto that middle rope moonsault, but knees up by Sami Guevara. Days, what happened with Balor and Grimes? I missed it. Grimes was talking trash about Balor. Balor came walking down behind him and said, if you're going to hit me, then hit me. If you say you're going to slap me, then slap me. And they got into a bit of a brawl. It was good. So they're fighting between Jericho and Matt Hardy on the entranceway. We've got Kenny Omega and Sami Guevara alone in the ring. Jericho making his way back down to the ring. And we're still at commercial break for NXT. Sami and Kenny look like they just came back from the garden. They do. They do. They do look like they've been doing a bit of gardening. They've got knee pads on the outside of their jeans. It looks very strange. It's, I believe this is a street fight though, isn't it? So maybe that's why they've gone for such attire. Guevara's record after this will be 11-13. Madup says it's a street fight, yes. Keith Lee versus Brock Lesnar, says Keith Jackson. LSW says, Days, I think we're going to get Balor versus Grimes in a squash match. Sami's doing a little spin and a bit of a pose. Jericho doing a pose as well, why not? Seem to be in control in their match as we go back to NXT. I think Jake Hager is at ringside as well. Balor versus Grimes has been made for next week. So maybe Balor's attacker is going to make themselves known next week. Okay, we are back to the main event. Velveteen Dream. Will the Purple Rain begin? So, Velveteen Dream is doing his entrance, making his way down. Matt Hardy back in the ring and slams down Jericho. D-R-E-A-M is... Sami and Kenny are cosplaying as the entire Attitude Era. Unbroken Matt Hardy has arrived. V1 Matt Hardy. He has taken off his tunic. Has Balor appeared? Yes. His entrance just makes me uncomfortable. Same. I mean, I get, I get it. This is what he does, but it just doesn't feel right now. Vape Ross Vape says Hardy has changed his gear. I think he's only taken off the top, hasn't he? Did I miss that? I don't know. I think he's just took his top off, and now he's got like a blue shimmery number underneath. Looks like he's about to break out into some karaoke. Okay, here comes Adam Cole. Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. Shooting star press by Sami Guevara. You got a real height on that. That was amazing. That looked really good. Yeah, has he changed his trousers as well, actually, Hardy? Maybe he has. He does look a lot more traditional Hardy boy. Attitude era. Going under the ring, grabbing a ladder. And Omega grabbing a table. Michael says he's changed his whole outfit. Okay. It's a bit weird, isn't it? To change your outfit mid-match. Does he think he's like Cher? Nothing says I'm taking this match seriously quite like changing your outfit halfway through. Knee strike. Matt Hardy going up top. Adam Cole, baby. Dave in real life says, I think Dream should be suspended until cleared. It's hard. It's hard, innit? I mean, it's hard. Big boot by Omega as Hager was climbing up. I certainly don't think he should be competing for a title. Dream is the heel, it seems. I don't think so. I think Adam Cole's always been a heel. Referee holding up that NXT Championship. They're certainly not giving it time. I mean, it's going to have, 12 minutes for an NXT Championship match? Okay, on the outside, we've got a big brawl and Hager getting involved. How do you watch both matches? I've got Fight TV app for AEW and BT Sport for Adam Cole and Velveteen and NXT. Omega going into the railings. We're well underway with Velveteen and Adam Cole. They've gone to the outside as well. Hager helping out. So Jake Hager helping hurl Matt Hardy into the railing. Adam Cole going for a super kick on Velveteen. He ducks, but then he gets up and gets caught. They're in with the crowd. Not seeing great examples of social distancing. They're like fighting in with the wrestlers in the crowd now. Big strikes by Jake Hager. They've gone up into the stands, and there's a few people in the stands. I'm not sure if this is like family members. There's a few kids and whatever. Got masks on, but now we're fighting all the way up in one of the production areas. Ooh, Jericho walloping Matt Hardy with something. Omega face first onto the trunk. They're now going into the bowels of the arena. And Jericho using a trash can on Matt Hardy, a dumpster. Obviously, they can go all around this building. I mean, there's no one around. So, it's quite interesting. He's literally got a bin. Picks up the bin, hurls it at Hardy. Now he grabs Hardy. Hardy grabbing a trash can lid and smacks it into the midsection of Jericho. Face first goes Hardy. It's NXT has gone to commercial break. You can see Britt Baker in the background. It throws him into some fencing. See Sean Spears as well. They're like proper fighting outside now. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Ooh, is that some kind of a pole? Don't know where he's got that from. Yeah, some pole that was just lying around. Matt Hardy using. He opens up the ice machine. Oh, and a bag of ice gets smashed into the head of Matt Hardy. Here we go. Hager has got Matt Hardy. And they're putting him into the ice. Is it a machine or is it some kind of just ice box? Why don't they use the pole and lock him in? They should put a pole through the handles. That would make sense. Omega is here anyway with a trash cam. Again, we've got 8 minutes left on this. I think Hardy is starting to reappear into golf cart thing. They're like proper outside now. They're going to freeze Matt to death. Thoughts on Hacker sending the "Do I have your attention" message and invading backstage? I think he's going to be on Money in the Bank, and I don't think it's CM Punk. Sammy hurling Omega into a cash machine. I think it just paid out. There we go. If you want some free money, just hurl a Kenny Omega into a cash machine and it pays out. Tries to throw him headfirst into that pillar. Omega firing some shots onto Sami Guevara. Sami Guevara going hurled. Getting hurled into that pillar. We're back on NXT as well. We got 7 minutes to go. Velveteen. Oh, Velveteen was on the middle rope. Super kick by Adam Cole. And he collapses down, hits his head hard. Oh, Sami Guevara gets thrown into some shutters. It's all happening right now. I do think it's a more exciting finish for AEW. Knee strike, big knee strike by Omega. Jake Hager. It's getting thrown over some railings. Man, there is no soft landing there, is there? Jericho with a trunk on wheels. Rams it into Kenny Omega. Shoulder up by Adam Cole. Days, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, a title match. It is, yes. Obviously, we've still got a few moments left on that. Jericho. Kick to the midsection of Omega. Got to be careful here. You got to be careful. There's like... bits of metal sticking up. If he got suplexed onto that, he could break his back and break his neck. Got to be so careful. Here we go, Jericho. Backstabber by Adam Cole. How long we got? We got 5 minutes left. Jericho has put a cone on his head. Why not? Uses the cone, wallops Kenny Omega. 5 minutes left. We've got an NXT Championship match underway. Wow. Kenny Omega just used a wet floor sign and it exploded. Bits of plastic just went everywhere. Brilliant. Matt Hardy has emerged now in a different outfit again. Damascus has appeared. Yes. Wardrobe change again. Yeah. This might be why Vince kind of held Matt back a little bit. Matt has jumped into that golf cart. Runs into Jericho. Days, did Charlotte lose? No, she lost the match, but it was by DQ, so she retained the title. I'm back. I haven't watched in years. Shout out to you, Janice Edwards. Hope you are well. He had another costume change in the icebox. He did. Rashad says, what is Matt doing? He needs restrictions. Madup says, AEW is amazing tonight. Oh, wow. Sammy just got hit hard by that golf cart. That golf cart was going at some speed. Super kick by Adam Cole. Dream collapses down onto Adam Cole too. Oh, Adam Cole's title reign was nearly over. Jericho reeling. And Kenny has grabbed Jericho, taking him over. I think they're going to jump on top of that cherry picker, are they? Dexter Lumis has come down. Dexter Lumis getting involved. Velveteen Dream drops the elbow. Lumis got involved, but the referee is down. So Velveteen Dream could have got it done and won. This is great for Lumis. That is great for Lumis. Omega with a moonsault off the top of that cherry. That was beautiful by Omega. That was class. That was great. That was a great moonsault. Adam Cole, knee to the back of the head. He's got the dream. 2, 3, and Adam Cole beats the Velveteen Dream. Santana and Ortiz have come down there, getting involved now. So there's a big melee. Santana and Ortiz. JR says the numbers. It's always the damn numbers. We've seen Jake Hager getting involved all throughout the match. Now Santana and Ortiz. I mean, this was always going to happen, that the Inner Circle were going to get involved in this street fight. Matt Hardy gets put through that table. Kenny Omega now is being... why is he being brought? He's being dragged to the back of that golf cart vehicle. Tony says the numbers are just too great as Omega gets slammed on the roof of the golf cart. So Kenny Omega slammed onto the roof of that Hager. Is dragging Omega over to that table where Hardy is. You can see blood on the... Oh, Judas effect. Judas effect by Jericho. Here we go. 2, 3, and it's done. It's done. The numbers were too great. quite fun. You can see the stadium as well. How great is that? You can see the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. On the screen in the background, it says Inner Circle. Inner Circle appears on the big screens in the stadium. That's cool. That's great. This is the road to Double or Nothing. NXT has come to an end, and AEW has come to an end as well. Yeah, I think AEW had the better main event. Get your scores in. I think it's a tough one to score. I think that Charlotte Io was used to build up for the future. I think both shows were actually quite close again, you know. I did like Balor. I thought Gargano against Dijakovic was good. Nyla Rose squash match I actually enjoyed. Main event I thought was better for AEW. Wasn't really into the Moxley match. Wasn't really into the Lance Archer match. I think Killer Cross's debut is a big talking point. I did like Jake with the snake. Loads of talking points, actually. Get your scores in. I think it's a tough one. LSW says NXT 9. NXT 9, AEW 10, says Wolfie. AEW 8.75. NXT 8.5, Sean says quite close as well. NXT 8.5, NXT 9, NXT 9, AEW. Wrestle Factor says AEW 9.5, AEW 9, AEW 10, NXT 8.5, 8.5 for both, 9 for both, NXT 8. It's all over the place. It's absolutely all over the place. I tell you, the only downside I've got is I hate Matt Hardy changing costume during a match. I hate it. There's no point for it. There's no point as to why he would do that. He's meant to be fighting a fight. This is meant to be a war. It's meant to be the Elite versus the Inner Circle, and Matt Hardy's doing costume changes like Diana Ross. So I really don't like that. But I think the rest of that main event was very good. Patrick O'Neill says, Days, sorry I haven't been around much. How are you? I'm good, thank you. NXT 8.4, AEW 4. AEW 9, NXT 10, AEW 9. I'm going to say that they were very, very similar. I can see pros and cons for both. There's not a great deal that there's lots of talking points, but there's not. I'm looking for 8s and 9s. I'm looking for OMG moments, and I don't feel like I got really OMG moments. I think both shows were better than average. Average would be 6.5. I'm feeling around a 7.25 for AEW. It's not a great deal there that I'm losing my mind over. I mean, honestly, what would I go back and praise? I liked Jake with the snake. I liked a Nyla Rose squash match. I liked elements of the main event. And that's about it. So I think 7.25 is quite fair. In regards to NXT, that Karrion Kross entrance is a big talking point. Not perfect for me, but it's a talking point. Main event wasn't as good. I think I preferred the first match. I think it's about the same, you know. I can't separate them. And I think that's very good for... I'm happy with that. I think they're the same. It might be a cop-out, but if it feels the same, then it's the same. I think both shows were about the same. I think that if you watched AEW, you saw a decent show. I think if you watched NXT, you saw a decent show. I don't think either show was a disaster. I think both shows had elements that were fun. I think the AEW main event was better. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm happy with that. The only match I enjoyed from AEW was the main event, says HCW. Yeah, I liked the Nyla Rose match as well because it was an 18-year-old girl that she was facing and she battered her. And she didn't just batter her, she kept slamming her and pulling her up and not getting the pin. It was such a heel thing to do. I really enjoyed that. So, because she was 18. I was questioning whether an 18-year-old should even be in that match. But I think the way they presented it was very good. So I praise them for how they presented Nyla Rose. AEW 7, NXT 7. 725 seems a bit harsh on both. I don't know. I've got to be honest. I don't think there was much OMG stuff in there. I don't think there was much that I'm freaking out about, you know? I mean, like, honestly, when it comes to NXT, I don't think Velveteen should have been in the main event anyway. I think that Charlotte versus Io was just used to set up for a future match. Okay, we got the return of Rhea Ripley, which was nice. The Finn Balor thing, we never found out who attacked him. I think the Johnny Gargano match was good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it was just it was solid, but I need something that's like, I can't believe that. Like, I need a real OMG moment to be getting into the 8s and the 9s. And I don't feel like I really got that from either show, to be honest. But I think both shows had strengths, and I think both shows had some weaknesses. Vape Ross Vape says Mr. Super Chat. Let me go back. Days, he is AEW's Elton John. Matt Hardy is the Rocket Man. Rocket Man! Patrick O'Neill, shout out to you as well, my friend. Days, I think the wardrobe changes for Hardy were to represent his different characters. First, he was Broken Matt. Second, he was V1. And then he was Damascus. That's fine. Just don't do it during a match, is how I would answer. NXT 10 out of 10. NXT was good, says Wrestling Days fan. Captain Redhead says, I wanted Dream to win. You missed Dexter Loomis. Creepy came from under the ring. I saw Loomis. I said I saw Loomis towards the end, and then Undisputed Era came down. So I saw him. He wasn't around for very long. Can I just say that me and Monica nailed it? I think Days saw our votes and was like, they get it, says William Hensey. Well, look, there's going to be people that agree and disagree, and that's what I love about it. If people think different, it's absolutely fine. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the gospel. I'm just calling it as I see it. I'm just being honest. I've got no allegiance to AEW. I've got no allegiance to NXT. I've been very harsh on NXT with the whole Drake Maverick thing. So, yeah, I call it as I see it. What does a show need to do to get 10 out of 10? That's a great question. For me, it would have to be like one of the best wrestling shows ever. It would have to be a show like WrestleMania 17. It would have to have some real OMG moments. It would have to do something that I have to talk about it. It's for it to be 10 out of 10. It's got to be perfect. Like each match has got to deliver. You can't really have any weaknesses. The promos have got to be out of this world. There has to be an OMG moment. There's got to be a big moment, and each match has got to deliver. So, you know, if you're starting to get matches that are a little bit like, like Tozawa against Jack Gallagher, I wasn't really feeling that on NXT. Main event, I don't think it was as good as the AEW main event. You know, all of these just take marks away for me. So, just bits like that. I can't remember if we gave WrestleMania 17 10 out of 10, but I would feel like that would be an example of a 10 out of 10 show. I think you gave NXT a 10 once. I can't remember. If I did, then that would be the criteria that I used. It must have had an OMG moment, and all of the matches must have delivered. Sunny Wolf says, Days, do you want to read the donut review? I'll read it afterward. Charles says, AEW does too much comedy. Shouldn't do that in the main event. Thought they were going to be sports-based. Well, yeah, I mean, look, what I'd say to that is I think they originally were going to be sports-based, and I think they've moved away from it now. I think they still do the rankings, which is good. And I think they are still trying to present kind of sports-based, but I think they know that to attract a casual audience, you do need some of that comedy. I mean, in all fairness, I do believe that's why Raw and SmackDown have those cringy segments, because unfortunately, if you want to attract non-wrestling fans, that might be how you do it. It might be those kind of little silly, quirky comedy moments that really help bring in those non-wrestling fans, you know. I mean, for a lot of us watching, we just want great matches, and that's what we judge it on. But for those casual fans that maybe, you know, don't care about that so much, it might be those comedy moments. It might be what Matt Hardy just did in the main event that may connect with people. I mean, look at Orange Cassidy and how he has connected with people, so... yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be booking that, to be honest. I didn't like the teleport thing, and I don't like him changing his outfit during the main event. It is what it is. I think they still do a lot of stuff right. I think they've got a great tag division. Coaster Maniacs says, gotta go, but I'll see you tomorrow for Total Divas. James says, both shows were great. It's hard to score this week. Almighty Ironhead says NXT was 10 out of 10. AEW absolutely sucks. Good luck on that 10 out of 10 for WWE. Yeah, WWE don't tend to get 10 out of 10s from me that often, in all fairness. AEW needs someone in charge of Matt. Tonight proved it. Charlotte is a heel. Who do you think attacked Balor? Do you know, I'm not sure. I mean, I did wonder about Dexter Lumis, but he seems to be more involved in the Dream, Adam Cole, and Disputed Era kind of angle. So I can't see him now being involved in with Finn Balor, so hard to say. Ethan says NXT 3, AEW 1.4. LSW says Days Dream got pinned clean. If they continue the story, I'll be very confused. Total Divas, yeah, that's tomorrow. Why has Charlotte said she is the greatest, but then she cheats her way out of a match? Well, it's because she's a heel, you know, and also Nando. I think Nando has got a really good point. Nando says that AEW really held their own with that NXT card, and I agree. I agree with Nando on that. I think that NXT card was stacked. If you looked at it, it looked like a takeover. So the fact that we're sat here now saying that both shows are about the same, I think that was very good. I agree. I think they did very well. Days, Dream's chance to beat Adam Cole were under 18 out of 100, yes. Finn Balor is talking too much about snakes. Imagine if Randy Orton attacked him. Well, I don't think he knows who it is. So I don't think he's hinting that it's a snake. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Jim Cornette would be the perfect booker for AEW. I would be interested in him booking a show and seeing what it would be like and seeing what the ratings would be like. Imagine if he booked a show, but they never told us, and then see what the ratings are like and see what the reaction was. That would be very interesting. It'll never happen, but it would be very interesting. Do you think the Dream will win the NXT title? Not whilst these allegations are underway, no. Days, I want Io Shirai versus Shah in a rematch. I think we're built. This is what I'm saying. I kind of feel like tonight's match was nothing more than to build for the future. I think we're building towards Io versus Rhea versus Charlotte. So I think we could get a triple threat down the road. Do you think the Dream will ever win the NXT title? I don't know is the answer. Certainly no time soon. Cornette, he kills every promotion that he touches. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see him book one show. I'm not saying bring him in as the booker forever, but it would be interesting to see him book one show. I'd be interested to see how he used the AEW roster, because obviously he's been very outspoken against it, but he has also said some really good stuff about AEW. So, I mean, no, Rio wouldn't be getting booked, and Marco Stunt wouldn't be getting booked, and Orange Cassidy wouldn't be getting booked, but I'd be interested to see what he could come up with. Using the roster that they've got. Karrion Kross versus Roman Reigns. Wrestling Days fan says, can't wait for the UFC stream. That is this Saturday. It's going to be huge. Tamina is going to beat Bayley at Money in the Bank. Loomis versus Cole for the NXT title, says Ethan. On second thought, go ahead, Corny. Go to AEW. I'm only saying for one show. WWE Inside Access Wrestling needs to go, but I will see you tomorrow. Shout out to you. Daisy, are you ready for Total Divas? As ready as I'll ever be. LeBron Fan 23 says, I feel like Charlotte is the John Cena of the women's division. They both bury talent and also win championship after championship. I don't know if I can agree with that, because she didn't win the main event of WrestleMania and she's lost to quite a few different people. I mean, she's lost against Becky, and she's been champion a lot of times, but she's also lost that title a lot of times. So I don't know. I didn't see her burying Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I actually was someone that went into WrestleMania not rating Rhea Ripley. I've seen her matches where she no-sells submissions. She'll be put in a submission and she'll no-sell it. She'll just get out of it. She gets out of it as if it's nothing. At the end of a grueling match, slapped into a submission and reverses it, gets out of it, no-sells it. Really frustrated me. And when they put the title on her, yes, she's got a great look. But I thought she had some big skill gaps in her in-ring abilities. But then seeing that match against Charlotte, I honestly thought she had the best match at WrestleMania. I thought her against Charlotte was excellent. And even in defeat, it elevated Rhea Ripley, in my opinion. I had a newfound respect for Rhea Ripley after WrestleMania than before WrestleMania, because she went in there, she had a great match with Charlotte, they told a story, and I really enjoyed it. So I have to disagree that she's not burying talent. I think she's developing. I think she helped. She had a match with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania on the biggest stage. I mean, don't forget, that would have been in front of a crowd. That would have been in a stadium. They actually had Rhea Ripley go to that stadium and have a look around and in the build for it, and of course it never happened. You know, should Rhea Ripley be beating Charlotte at WrestleMania? Rhea Ripley's in her early 20s. Charlotte's been doing this already for 8 years. She's been in NXT. She's a multiple-time world champion. Should someone like Rhea Ripley be beating Charlotte? I would say no. I would say you've got to work hard. I'd say that's a mountaintop. You should work to beat Charlotte. You shouldn't do it at the first time of trying. So I really enjoyed everything about that match. And Io has got the victory tonight. You know, Charlotte couldn't get past Io. Charlotte had to grab a kendo stick and win by DQ. So I don't know. I can't really subscribe to this Charlotte buries talent thing. Don't know. I know a lot of people don't like her. But I think she's a great talent. I think she's a good wrestler. Shout out to you, Nando. Sasuke 100k says, Days, can't WWE, out of all the stars they've got, build one person as a face? Well, I mean, they've got Drew that they're building at the moment. Obviously, we had Drew, and we also had Becky. I think Becky kind of built herself in many ways, though, didn't she? I like Charlotte. People just get mad when people aren't booked 50-50. NXT 7 out of 10 because of Gargano's new horrible theme song, says John Cena Gamer. Yes, that was a talking point, definitely. AJ Styles needs to be pushed. He does need to be pushed. I think he was wasted in the OC. I don't think that worked at all. That group kept getting buried. AJ Styles is better than that group. So, yeah, it's good that he's back. And I'm looking forward to seeing him push on. I tagged you in a Twitter post. AEW got fined $10,000 for blood in a match. What? Why? That's crazy. That's a shame. They don't deserve that. Blood in a match done at the right time is good. I think they've used blood really well, actually. Oh, that's a real shame. I'm sorry to hear that happen to them. Vinny says, Darby always loses to Cody. Do you think it'll pay off down the line? Yes, Vinny. Yes. I was actually critical when Cody faced Darby and it was a draw at first because I thought they needed to establish stars quite quickly. I think they were in a bit of a race against the clock. You know, I mean, like they had Cody, they had the Young Bucks, they had Kenny, but I really felt like they needed to establish these new stars. So they did a draw, first of all. I was a bit critical of that. In retrospect, I'll hold my hands up and say it was probably the right result. Because again, very similar to what we've said with Rhea Ripley, you know, it takes time. You shouldn't really be beating those people at the first time of trying. But at the time, I didn't know how they were presenting Darby Allin. You know, in my mind, Darby Allin could have been this great person that they saw as a main eventer from the start. You know, but he's been a bit of a project for them. I think, in truth, when Darby joined them, he was quite green. He wasn't the finished article. I think he needed a bit of working on. I think he was a project, and I think they've worked on him, and I think he has been a big success story for them. I really do. I think he is one of the stars that they've really built really well. So credit to AEW for how they've built Darby Allin. I don't mind the fact that he lost against Cody. I think he will get that win down the road, and when he does, it'll mean a lot more. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Finn versus Grimes, given the time next week, should be good. Yeah, I'm on board. See what they can do with that. Are you a Blur or Oasis person? Oasis. I was hardcore Oasis as I was growing up. I still bought a few Blur albums, and I still appreciated some of their songs, but I went to Oasis gigs, and I bought the singles for... I didn't buy Oasis albums. I bought box sets and singles and anything I could get my hands on. So yeah, I was firmly Oasis. I went to their Wembley show, Familiar to Millions, in 2000. Really good. Really enjoyed it. Shout out to WWE Figure Beast. We'll stick around for 7 more minutes. 7 more minutes. That'll see us through till past, and then we will go. Shout out to WWE Figure Beast. AEW could be a little better tonight. It was okay. I agree with that. Does Britt have beef with Brandy and Cody because she's always attacking them? I think she's a heel, doing heel things. I'm not sure that she's necessarily got beef with them. I think she's just... Yeah, I mean... I don't know what it's going to lead to. I can't see us getting Brandy versus Britt. I hope that's not what we're building towards. It's hard to see what the end result of that's going to be. But, yeah, I agree. There's definitely something between Britt and the Rhodes family. I've seen both Blur and Oasis live at Leeds. Amazing. 1999 and 2000. I would like to have seen Blur. I do think they were a great band. I do think they sort of lost their way. Although they put out an album. Oh, that reminds me, actually. They had an album called Think Tank, which was towards the end of their time together. That was great. I really liked that album. I might go back and listen to that after this stream. Shout out to Gillian Young. Hope you are well. What time are you streaming to? Just 6 more minutes. We normally stick around for 15 minutes, 30 minutes after, something like that. So, Finley says Oasis. Rashad says Charlotte should have given the Asuka win streak to Sasha Banks. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the fact that Charlotte ended Asuka's win streak, if I'm being honest. I feel that WrestleMania, was a good place for it to end. But yeah, that was something that I didn't like. I'm a big Asuka fan, so I didn't like to see that end. And I didn't think that Charlotte really was the person that needed to benefit from that, but it is what it is. I mean, in a way, it's kind of similar. It's like Brock beating The Undertaker. Did Brock benefit from it? I would say he did. I said this during one of the Wrestling Escape pods. It's kind of crazy to think that Brock was given little to no chance of beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. There was not many people that thought he was going to win, which is why the shock was so real. I think Charlotte had more of a chance against Asuka. She's not the person I would have chosen, but I don't know. She probably benefited from it. I'd like to see her gloating about it a bit more, actually. I don't feel that she really mentions that as an achievement enough, because I do think it's a big deal. Dace, do you like AC/DC? Yeah, I like their singles. I couldn't tell you much about their albums. Like, I know you've got Highway to Hell and things like that. The Back to Black. But I couldn't tell you like tracks on each of their albums. I just know their hits. Celtic or Rangers? If I had to choose, I would say Rangers. Literally because when I was a kid, Rangers play in blue and Celtic play in white and green. And I thought the blue just looked better, to be honest. Plus also, I think when I was a kid, they had a player called Ali McCoist, who I remember being a great player. And he played for Rangers. So I liked Ali McCoist. So I think for me, Rangers had... they look better. Plus also, I think Rangers is a cooler name than Celtic. Do you know what I mean? As a kid, as you're growing up, do you want to support the team in blue called Rangers that's got the cool player? Or do you want to support Celtic, who have got like green and white and no one that I know? So, I don't really follow Scottish football, but if I had to choose, I'd say Rangers. Days, what diva will you dress as? None. Just be thankful I'm even watching that show tomorrow. Sean says, I think Britt's issue with Brandy and Cody is because Britt was the first woman signed and she was meant to be the face. That's interesting. Yeah. Chicago Blackhawks or Boston Bruins? I would go Boston Bruins because I've never heard of the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't even know what sport that is. So, I don't know. I've heard of the Boston Bruins, but I've never heard of the Chicago Blackhawks. If you're a Chicago Blackhawks fan, I'm sorry. I've never heard of them. But I have heard of the Boston Bruins, so I'll go for that. Shout out to you, Rashad. We've got 2 minutes, and then we will wrap up. Oh my God, dress up. It's not happening. I'm already going through a forfeit of having to watch Total Divas tomorrow. I'm basically doing a stream that's going to cater to about 5 people tomorrow because that's what was voted for. So I'm already doing enough of a forfeit. What English team do you support? Weird question on a wrestling stream, but I do support Man U because I didn't know anything about football when I was at secondary school. I didn't follow football at primary school. So when I got to secondary school and everyone was talking about football, it was like, okay, I probably should get into this if I want friends. So I started like trying to play football with people. And of course, I was rubbish. So I used to go in goal. But then I became a really good goalkeeper. So I just always played in goal. So I looked to see who had the best goalkeeper at the time, and it was Man United. They had a player called Peter Schmeichel. So I used to try and watch him and get tips. Where do you stand and all that kind of stuff. And this was actually, early 90s. It was before they became the all-dominant team that they became. So I just started watching them at the right time. I started watching them just as they were starting to win stuff, but I had no idea they were going to dominate the 90s and do so well in the 2000s, you know? So, No, whenever I tell people I support Man U, everyone always like, oh, you're a glory hunter and all this. You only support them because they won. It's like, no, not really. I was kind of supporting them at the very start of all of that. I supported them really because of Man United, because of Peter Schmeichel. So, and also they're not doing very well right now. So I'm clearly not glory hunting. They haven't won the league in 6 years. Imagine days watching Eva Marie for 40 minutes. Colchester or Southend? How can I answer that? I don't know. Undertaker strikes. Should have been Daniel Bryan that finished that streak. Well, there we go. I think we've covered a lot of non-wrestling topics right there. So I think that will. I think we'll call it a day at that point. Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I thought that it was a very entertaining night of wrestling. Both shows I thought did very well. I'm obviously looking forward to this weekend. We are back tomorrow with a cheeky little Total Divas stream. I totally understand if you don't join us for that. Friday we're back with SmackDown. Then Saturday we got UFC. Sunday we've got Money in the Bank. Monday we got Raw. Tuesday we got the return of NWA Power, and then boom, we're back to next Wednesday and another NXT and AEW. So awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate the support, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.